106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los on this Tuesday, this Neil Bortz Tuesday, 7:25. The Talk Master.
See how this goes.
Your body, you can't ever tell. You just never know how to go with
It's
Neil
been a
Bortz.
shocking morning. Since
Already?
the moment I pulled into this parking
yes,
deck.
I know. With our friend down the hall.
Good old Kelly Kroll.
A sweet Kelly Kroll, who is, she's everywhere.
Yes.
She physically is everywhere throughout the building and on the station, and we're even voicing some stuff for the Warrior Alliance. I mean, she is active. Got a new podcast, Kroll. Hang on, what is it called? Hang on, I got it wrong. Kroll Me Maybe. That's it.
Kroll Me Maybe.
Instead of Call Me Maybe.
That's awesome.
Yes. Very clever.
So I stepped out of my car and I had some music jamming out of it. And it was Pete Yorn. It's his new album. And by the way, as I told you before, the producer for it is the same one who produces Bad Bunny. What was it? How did you say it?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
That's my best Spanish.
But Pete Yorn's is all in English, so just so we can establish
There we go.
this. But again, it's all acoustic.
Did he tell Spanish speakers they need to learn English?
No, he did not. It's all acoustic rock, right?
Right, it's good
but
stuff.
it's just this
He's
is the
great.
producer who wanted him to try this, and she asked me, she's like, "What do you listen to?" I was like, "Oh, I was listening to a little bit of Pete Yorn. His new album. It's been out for I don't know 6 months. It's like all acoustics, no percussion.
Really good.
It's really fun. It's a nice listen." And she's like, "Who?"
No.
And I'm like, "Well," I go,
Kelly
"Do you
Kroll.
remember Life on a Chain?" And I started playing Life on a Chain as we were walking into the building. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know."
Oh, no.
Now, here's the part that you would typically say is impressive. I go, "Kelly, what do you listen to?" She goes, "Sports radio."
Oh, my heavens. Like always? You never listen to anything
I was like,
else?
let's expand this out a little bit.
Goodness, I like sports radio, too. I like to listen to content about the Georgia Bulldogs or the Atlanta Braves.
I
Man,
love sports
it.
radio.
Yeah, you work it.
But I also try and listen to a lot of different stuff. That's all.
Broaden your horizons, maybe a little bit.
It's like it's fun working with my heart here, Tug, because every now and then he'll send me a country song. All right, the last one you sent me didn't hit me the same way.
No, Parker McCollum, Handle on You.
It was fine.
I love it, dude. I think lyrically, I think it's genius.
But I was also, going through a thing at the time too. I was like 2 margaritas in after we'd finished the whole regional championship, and so I really wasn't listening as intently as I should have.
Maybe not.
But yeah, I mean, I was surprised from good strong Kelly Kroll. She's like, "I don't know any of that." I go,
Good.
"Do you know Scarlett Johansson?" She's like, "Yeah," and I go, "All right, well, she did an album
Yeah, they
with
did
Pete Yorn. She's
records
done
with
2 of them." She's like, "Really?" And I'm like, I said this, and this is how I feel about all of you who don't listen to certain piece of music, or more importantly, if you haven't seen movies like Tug with the Marvel series, or if you've never seen Breaking Bad, you have a treat on your hands. Like,
It's waiting on you.
You get to take something in that's going to be awesome. Like right now, you're like, because you stopped, you're like 3 episodes in to Welcome to Wrexham.
Yes, I know.
You have like 3.5 seasons left to go, and it's so good. It's
And
the
it is
best-
good.
It's the best show on television, and
I
yet
really
you're like,
enjoy it.
well, I'll get around to it.
Well, no, it's just having the time to do it is the problem that I run into.
You make time, man.
I
Make
know.
time for stuff that's important to you.
I got a kind of a makeshift 30-year high school reunion on Friday night, trying to figure out if I can get up there. I don't even
Unacceptable.
I don't even think I can get up there, man. I don't know. I'll try to figure it out.
All right, we haven't had a cat sighting on the show recently.
Well,
Our
we
friend
need to.
Kat from Good Old Days.
Yeah, we need to.
So I spoke to her last week because stopped by to grab some grub, and she had I don't want to date her, but she was having a high school anniversary.
Okay,
All right,
yeah,
so
that's cool. Yeah,
I won't tell you it wasn't her 5-year. So anyway, she started talking about the girls were real mean to me at school, so I can't wait to see all of them.
Yeah, 'cause she's a beautiful woman.
And I told her, I said, "So what do you think's going to happen?" She's like, "Well, some of them have like 3 kids by 2 baby daddies at this point." And she was looking forward to going to go play scoreboard with her and her husband.
Yeah, because she's a beautiful lady.
So imagine what it's like when you go there. It's super awkward because, as I told you, like your family looks at you like the real down-home family. They're like, oh, look, there's Jerry. He made it.
Yeah,
he lives in the big city.
He got out of here.
He ain't working in no carpet mill.
And he ain't living in the trailer.
And you think what they're going to say if you go to some 30-year high school reunion? It's the same thing they're going to say when they looked at Kat. They're like, she got all her teeth.
That's right.
Stupid.
And how's she so shapely?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say the same thing to you. They're going to be like, look at him.
Shapely.
Ain't no meth smile on him.
That's right. I don't know how in the world
he went into the Navy and he's all good folk now.
Yeah, them teeth can't be real. No. You know what? The thing is, we've talked about it. How everybody's so connected on Facebook, you already know what everybody's doing.
Yeah, you have a good idea.
It takes a little bit of the mystique out of going. But it's about seeing if I get to make it up, and it doesn't look like I will, but it's about seeing the people that you genuinely liked, and just being able to shake their hand and be like, hey, man, it's good to see you. How you been? That for me anyway, that's what I'm
I had to sell my job.
Yeah, that's right.
Sell my work, sell my company.
Yeah. How much to get for it?
And one of my kids has lupus.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. If you do go to any reunion, here's just the general suggestion I have. And I got this from a really good friend of mine who played for years in the NFL. Even when things are going badly for you, don't talk about it.
No, yeah.
It's like everything's good. Everything's fine. Because people who are having a tough time and then are living in that tough time, everyone else avoids them like the plague because you don't want it to rub off. Like we as humans, we gravitate towards positive, good vibes.
That's right. Yep, I agree with that.
Like we had a coworker who couldn't wait to tell us about how his wife cheated on him and how it ruined his life. And every single time he'd show up here, I was like, he's here again. We got to get out of here.
Dude, be like, I've got to go to the bathroom.
I was like, oh, no. He's here again.
Did you just come back from the bathroom? No, that was earlier.
It's like, we got to avoid this situation.
Yeah, no.
And again, good dude. I get along with him well, but during that time period of his life, ran the other way.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That was a verbal headlock I did not need.
There's still a hint of it in there, too, though.
Oh, yeah.
When he comes to visit, it's yeah. Hey, man, not wave across the room and keep going.
Right. Hey, good seeing you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so when you go to that reunion, don't tell them about how you need a new leg.
Well, I don't, which is good, but I
don't understand the diabetes has chewed up my foot.
The diabetes.
The diabetes has got me. Wilford Brimley wasn't lying.
He wasn't, dude. He's telling us the truth the whole time. And I don't know if you were paying enough attention to it. But that's the thing, man. I got nothing to complain about, man. I wouldn't complain even if there was something to complain about.
Good for you.
What about,
that's part of the reason why they're going to reject you if you did show up.
Get out of here.
He doesn't have anything to complain about.
No, I just feel blessed all the time. And is things in life perfect? No. Dude, I've got a story right now of my my adopted sister that has moved back in with my mom. Have I told you about this? I'm not sure I should, to be honest with you. To be completely honest with you.
Are you going to take it down a notch?
Well, no. It would just show you how everything's not perfect, even though I feel very fortunate and very blessed. It's crazy. You can pick your friends, you can't pick your family.
Yeah, sure.
And it's one of those scenarios.
I know it rather well.
Where somebody ended up in jail for swinging an axe at somebody.
Okay.
Namely a law enforcement officer.
Wow.
So that's what I mean.
As long as it wasn't Curtis.
No, it wasn't Curtis. That's the thing. It was
Curtis steals rims. He don't swing axes.
No, he ain't gonna try to kill nobody. Now he might sling him some dope.
My cousin will sling you some dope, but he will not swing axes at anybody. He ain't trying to hurt people.
That's right. So, but that's what I'm saying. So it's not perfect. There's all kinds of issues going. My family is riddled with crazy issues and crazy health issues. But I mean, you pray about it and hope for the best. You don't, I'm just not going to dwell on it all the time. Even though, my own kid, he's banged up. He's not playing right now. I'm not going to bring that up. I would never.
Well,
nobody wants to hear it.
And he also won't call home.
He did yesterday.
What?
Surprisingly so. We talked about...
Did he need the car keys?
No.
He had to borrow the car keys? See you later. Can I have them, please?
Yes, that's right. When his name came up on the phone, I showed my wife, I was like, it's either the best day that he's ever had or the worst day he's ever had. What do you think it is? And she was like, I don't know, answer it. And it was neither. it was so surprising. He was just like, just checking in. I don't know if maybe the conversation hit the atmosphere, and
you think that somebody kind of got word to him that every single time his name comes up on the show right now, Los starts into Cats in the Cradle.
Daddy's crying, all lonely.
My boy
he know
was just like me.
Would he know Cats in the Cradle?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so.
You really got to go down kind of a dark road to introduce Cats in the Cradle.
But just with Tug being the music person that he is, I didn't know if you ever had Cat Stevens playing around the house.
Oh, dude, probably some Wild World. He'd probably know that, but I don't know if he would know Cats in the Cradle. But
listen, every time you
he
call
might know
home,
Peace Train, something like that.
I play this song in the background.
Yeah, and cry to
And I
myself.
cry to myself.
And drink liquor.
Strain my beers.
I roll up in the fetal position. I think, what went wrong?
Why does my kid not love me? What was it that I did that was so bad? What did I do so bad?
You wanted me to teach him to catch.
Yeah.
I was too busy.
That's right, I couldn't. And then when I tried, I hit him in the face with the ball, and he never wanted to play again. So yes, that's right.
That was a really sad song.
So Cats in the Cradle is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
He probably, you know what probably happened? He probably just finished with some of his teammates. They were watching, like, for the first time, Field of Dreams. And he was like, I better call Dad.
I got to call Daddy.
I better call Daddy.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to have a catch?
Yeah, right. No, it's so good. So good. Yeah, but so we'll see. We'll see. And the stories that I have a feeling that I'll gather at a 30-year reunion, a kind of a makeshift throw together. They're celebrating the 50th anniversary of our high school and the 30th anniversary, kind of just at the football game because of that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Have you ever been to a reunion?
Sort of. So my original high school, and I went there all the way till my junior year. I transferred my senior year.
You told me this, yeah.
To go play, ball and do my stuff with the guys I grew up playing with. And so my previous high school, though, doesn't exist. It's now a magnet school.
Yeah.
And so
That throws a wrinkle in everything.
Right. And so my friends and I that I grew up with, I mean, we'd been together since kindergarten, first grade. We kind of arranged our own
Makes sense.
kind of 20-year reunion where
That's
it's
cool.
like, let's all get together. It was one of those times where we're all in town for Thanksgiving. It's typically a holiday, and we still call each other up to
Cool.
put something together.
Well, that and again, social media.
It makes it much easier.
It does,
Yeah.
man. And for all the negatives of social media, and there are plenty.
Yeah. At that point, I think that my wife is generally the favorite person in the room. They're like,
we like her.
We like her better than you.
Yeah.
She's a lot more fun. I'm like, well, I know.
Yeah, she is awesome. That's so true.
It's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and that whole podcast we're doing,
Yeah.
if I get the next person to tell me the same thing of, she sounds like she's so much fun.
Dude.
I'm like,
Her personality shines.
it's a problem because I'm the fun one in the house. All right? She's totally sold you.
No, because I watched the Georgia Auburn SEC championship with her.
Okay, special circumstance, lots of alcohol, Georgia going to a playoff.
Dude, we had a dadgum ball. That's when I knew you'd outkicked your coverage. I was like,
There was a whole lot of drinks flowing when, especially once DeAndre Swift broke loose of the Auburn defense, and it was very clear Georgia's going to win and they're going to go to the 14 playoff. That was when everything went ape crazy in that place.
Yeah, it was.
We were at Sports and Social across the street.
Right across the street. We had so much fun, and your sweet wife was just the coolest. And that personality that I saw there is so reflective and so present in the podcast that you are doing called Volleyball. She is, dude, she just shines. It jumps out the speakers.
So speaking of person that shines and jumps out the speakers, so what are you wearing this evening? Because our friend Kelvin King, we're supposed to deliver some remarks early.
I've been thinking about that on the way in. So
I know. We're going to be over at Park Bench 5:30 to 8 this evening.
It'll be blue jeans and some boots, but probably a button up and maybe a coat.
I kind of thought the same thing.
Yeah. Because I mean,
presentable. Otherwise,
we're both wearing black hoodies.
I can't wear my regular uniform.
That's right.
Like, oh look, he's wearing a hoodie to work.
No, that's exactly
because it's always, no matter what, it could be 100 degrees outside. It's 50 in the building. It's 50 in the building every single time we get here.
We just have a lot of equipment. It's got to keep cool, and so that's the reason.
When no one's here, it's always cold in the morning.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I thought about that exact thing.
Are you going to issue a country lyric or some sort of music lyric tonight?
Dude, I've been thinking about that a little bit too. But potentially. But
have you ever thought about, maybe using like a Garth Brooks line like rodeo? And likening it to running for office?
Yeah, let me pull up the lyrics real quick, see if any of them would work.
And then you tell the audience
the rains,
enjoy the pain.
And they call the thing rodeo.
Vote for Kelvin King.
Vote for Kelvin King. Vote for Kelvin King.
I love it. Yeah.
Should you go George Strait because it's Kelvin King?
King.
El Rey, the King.
I like where your head's at.
But if you were to sit down and start using lyrics from The Chair.
Yeah, that's right. Excuse me, but I think you got my chair.
And that is the way Kelvin feels about the current Secretary of State who's going to be vacating.
Yeah, that's right. You've got my chair, sir, and we're going to ask you to move.
I do have a fashion suggestion, though.
Oh.
I think we're still in the window of a sombrero.
It would work.
It would work really well.
It would totally work.
Dude. There would be laughter abound. Everybody
giant
would be
red
laughing.
sombrero,
dude.
Everyone like, I totally get it.
Dude, we got to figure this out. That actually is really, really funny.
Got about 11 hours.
And here's the thing, we're early on. I mean, so by the end, people have already, they're focused on Kelvin, the thing that matters.
Right.
A guy.
Yeah, we're early. We're not going to make or break anything.
Exactly right. Which that's why I think this sombrero thing may work. I think it might actually. Here in a little bit, we're going to get a text from Kelvin going, "Do not, whatever you do not. I'm never going to invite you clowns back to anything if you do something like that. Oh, we won't."
You're hinting at the shutdown. I'm like, yes.
That's right.
And Hakeem Jeffries.
I was really impressed by you holding back yesterday. You didn't give him any trouble at all about Navy beating Air Force.
And not going to. Nah, yeah. Because he was a heck of a football player at Air Force.
He was.
He was a ball player in high school, ball player at Air Force. We'll let you hear from Kelvin next. Asking for your vote. Talking about the event here at Park Bench Battery, Atlanta on Xtra 106.3.
Xtra 106.3 is Atlanta's home for NASCAR, and we have live races every weekend from across the country. Check out Xtra1063.com for the full schedule and join us this weekend for live NASCAR action.
I'll tell you what, if you're looking to save yourself, a decent amount of money, let me encourage you to reach out to Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Here's why. Right now is the perfect time as fall sets in. What's the temperature going to be today? It's actually, I think, going to get up to 80. Surprisingly, yesterday was about 74, I think, 75. So we're in that place where your AC is, not pumping out. You're not to the point where you need the heat yet. But if you're in that place where you don't know if your heat will make it through the winter, now's the time. $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. So there you go. A couple ways to save yourself a whole bunch of money and make for positive that your family's going to be comfortable during this winter. When the cool weather comes in, that you are comfortable and your family is taken care of. There's nothing worse than going home and it be freezing cold. Have you ever had that happen? We have. Where we had in the middle of the day, and of course, it's just right there at the the end of the work day, and the call Chuck and he's like, "We'll be out there first thing tomorrow," and they were. But that night it was chilly cold. So don't fall into that because you can prepare for it with a new system. If you're on the brink of needing a new system, $2,100 in rebates, 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Call Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. They will treat you well. They won't send you through automation. When you actually call 770-GET-HEAT, you'll speak with a real person. Or if you prefer to go the web route, a lot of people buy that way too. It's centralheat.com.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
It's October 7th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is Bathtub Day. It's a day to remember and celebrate the introduction of the bathtub in England in 1828. And don't forget this.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Ernie from Sesame Street making bath time fun for kids. On this day in 2003, the Terminator becomes the Governator. Arnold Schwarzenegger unseats the current governor, Gray Davis, in a recall election. The actor was one of 135 candidates. His film career took off in Conan the Barbarian, then rose to superstardom with the Terminator series. The U.S.-led attack on Taliban-controlled Afghanistan begins in 2001 with an intense bombing campaign by American and British forces. This in response to the September 11th attacks just weeks earlier. Born on this day in 1959, TV producer and the American Idol judge you love to hate, Simon Cowell.
It's just rubbish.
I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Tuesday, October 7th. A Cobb County man who was falsely accused of a kidnapping attempt at the Walmart in Ackworth is planning to sue the city and police department if they can't reach a settlement. Mahendra Patel spent 45 days in jail after a mother accused him of trying to kidnap her son earlier this year. He was released after a judge dropped the charges in August. Patel is seeking $25 million in damages. A professor at Kennesaw State University has been awarded 2 grants to develop new antibacterial treatments aimed at tackling drug-resistant bacteria and staph infections. Dr. Thomas Leepers says the project is critical given the rapid growth of multi-drug-resistant infections, and students will be involved in the lab work. And Marietta City Schools Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera has donated his $10,000 bonus to cover college application fees for all seniors at Marietta High. The support also applies to students pursuing career certifications or military paths with the goal of eliminating financial barriers to applying. Rivera says no student should hold back from applying due to cost. This is his 7th year he's made this donation to help their futures. Today's weather mostly cloudy with a high of 81. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
We are always blessed and fortunate to
honored
to bring Kelvin King on the show. Man, what's up? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, fellas? It's good to be here. Things are busy on my end, but I'm glad I'm able to chat with y'all this morning.
Shoot, yeah, man. You got this big campaign kickoff here at the Battery Atlanta Park Bench, 900 Battery Avenue, Suite 1060. It's just down the road from us. If you want to RSVP, you can. It's www.kelvinking.com/kickoff, and Los and I are thrilled to be able to be there and be a part of it. What can folks expect out of this big event?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can just walk down the sidewalk.
We'll just ease down there.
So what they're going to expect is a couple hundred people coming to the park bench location at the Battery, motivated, excited about a Kelvin King candidacy for Secretary of State here in Georgia. I'm going to chat a little bit about my background, get to know me a little bit more on a personal level. And then we're going to talk about some of the issues that need to be addressed in the Secretary of State's office, and then we're going to talk about solutions. And we're going to motivate people to go out there and push for the Kelvin King agenda.
Kelvin King is our guest right here on the Morning Extra. One of the times that we spoke, it's now been a good 2 or 3 years ago, we talked about one of the most famous political minds in this country, and we talked about it was Abraham Lincoln, and how many times he had run for office, state and federal, and it didn't work out until it did. And I talked about, this is after your run for senator, I was like, I don't think this is the end of it. What did it take for you to get kind of back into knowing what it takes to run for office like this, to get the family right, to get yourself right, to put the helmet back on and say, all right, let's go after this again?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm going to liken it to, when you fall off a bike, you just hop back on, right? And you keep pedaling until you become proficient. I think it's similar. I mean, we knew there was a reason to run for U.S. Senate a couple years ago, and I was looking forward to defeating Raphael Warnock, but God had a different plan. His plan actually ended up being a blessing to my family personally, even though it was a loss in the political world. But that wasn't demotivating. In fact, we stayed in the game. We spoke with colleges and universities and high schools, kids about the conservative message, and we reached out to diverse communities. So we stayed in the game, and then this opportunity availed itself. I prayed a lot about what my next step was going to be, and when God made it very plain, with my wife being selected or appointed to the state elections board and being able to disclose and see the dysfunction that's currently going on in our Secretary of State's office, that was motivating enough based on my background. I thought I was the best, and I still think I'm the best candidate to fulfill the role of a Secretary of State's office, which, I don't know if everyone knows that role. The Secretary of State is responsible for elections. They administer elections across the state. The actual execution of the elections is done countywide. The Secretary of State's office is also responsible for business formations and licensing, over 42 occupational licenses. I'm a licensed general contractor, and that's near and dear to my heart. And if we want to maintain the title of best state to do business in, we've got to make sure that our red tape and bureaucracy in the licensing process is eliminated. And lastly, the Secretary of State's office is responsible for administering the Georgia Securities Act. That's basically making sure that none of us are taken for granted, or our money is stolen by investment firms that pop up here in Georgia off and on. So those are the main responsibilities, and those are the areas I'm going to be focusing on.
Was there one thing, Kelvin, as we talked to Kelvin King, who's running for Secretary of State here in Georgia, his event, his campaign kickoff is at Park Bench here in the Battery. Is there one thing that stood out to you in the Secretary of State's office, whether you learned it through Janelle or in your own research and your own experience, that was so egregious you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened in the state of Georgia. This is what I'm going to fix specifically?
Yes, sir. And I'm looking forward to sharing those details at our campaign kickoff. But it has to do with our elections. I mean, sometimes we hear or read in the AJC or the mainstream media that our elections are perfect and there's no issues, or there's a little bit of fraud. I don't think a little bit of fraud is acceptable when it comes to our elections. I speak to a lot of people in Georgia, and the last couple meetings, I've asked people to raise their hand if they felt as if or were certain that their vote in 2020, 2022, and 2024 was counted. And guys, nobody has raised their hand yet. Like, no one raised their hands in 3 different meetings. These are hundreds of people that I've spoken with. That is a travesty of trust. The people in Georgia, there's an apathy, there's a distrust and a disappointment when it comes to our election process because the people don't feel like their vote counts. That is my number one goal.
See, that's the encouraging factor. Kelvin King is our guest right here. He's going to be running, and we will have the event 5:30 to 8 o'clock at the Battery over at Park Bench. He's going to be running for Georgia Secretary of State. The perspective for me that has changed since 2020 into 2022 into now, I'm one of those people that when I was asked about, hey, we're having a state runoff for Senate. Are you going to get out and vote? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. My vote's not going to get counted. I said that exact same thing, Kelvin. So if you're telling me, hey, we've got kind of the inside story on this. This has changed how I view this. I want to fix it. I can tell you, I can vote on. If I could vote twice, I would do so, but that would be illegal. I'll just vote the once.
Right. That's illegal. But I mean, your point is well received. I think a lot of Georgians feel the same way that you feel, and I don't think they've been, provided with proper information. They've been basically the rug has been pulled under us, or the cover over our heads when it comes to what's really going on with our elections. We have an election in Hall County that was not done correctly, and the Secretary of State's office did nothing to it. It's the city of Oakwood. There's also an election right here in Metro Atlanta in DeKalb County where someone was in third place, and when a recount was requested, they won the election. And those are just two simple examples of what's happened within the last couple years. This is not 2020, 2018. This is 2022, 2024. And these are challenges and issues that we need to correct. We can't just ignore them or call our voters names, disparaging names like one of my opponent has already done. The job of the Secretary of State's office is to lead, and to lead with character, to lead with integrity, lead with transparency, and gain the trust of the American voter.
I'm glad that you mentioned how each election cycle there's been something. And I've learned from Janelle, your wife Janelle, that this has been going on for years and years and years. And sometimes it benefited the Democrats, and sometimes it benefited the Republicans. It's almost like they were just fine with it. It's your turn this time. We'll take the loss here. It's y'all's turn this time. You get to take the win. It's almost like they were all in agreement and everything was fine as long as everybody got their chance to use the system for their benefit.
I chuckled, but it's not funny. You're right. Like, the Democrats don't trust our elections. The Republicans don't trust our elections. I mean, the Libertarians don't trust our elections. That's a problem in Georgia when we don't trust our elections. Our voting right is our most basic fundamental right to control and basically run our government. It makes me, you all opened up this spot mentioning Abraham Lincoln. And we know that Abraham Lincoln is known for his Gettysburg Address, where he talks to, he makes a paraphrase of, government for the people, by the people, of the people. Well, that statement came from a previous Secretary of State. His name is Daniel Webster. And Daniel Webster said way before Abraham Lincoln that government is made for the people, made by the people, and answerable to the people. That last clause, answerable to the people, is really what made me think about how important the Secretary of State's office is. They're not answering to the people. Their duty is to answer to the people. And right now, the people have questions.
Kelvin King is our guest. He's going to be running for Georgia Tech Secretary of State. You can join us in the Battery 5:30 to 8 over at Park Bench. Let me go right there. You talked about Democrats don't trust it, Republicans don't trust it, Libertarians don't trust it, Tug and I don't trust it. A lot of us don't trust it. Is the paper ballot the way back to trust? I know that there's got to be a whole lot of options here, but I think a lot of us feel when we go into that voting system and we have our ballot sent in, that at that point it's off into the world and we don't know what happens to it and we don't trust what's currently going on.
Right. I mean, I think that is the only way to regain trust, Carlos. If you believe in zeros and ones, the digital option, yeah, I mean, that's great. I think it helps expedite things. It helps make our systems more efficient. But if you want verifiable results, if you want an audit where beyond a shadow of a doubt the election outcome because you can count the paper that someone wrote or penciled in or bubbled or oval, that's how you regain trust. So I don't think we have any other option at this point than to take a step back. Let's do some hand-marked paper ballots and regain trust in our elections. That way we have the true auditability and verification of our votes that's attached to the individual voter. I don't think there's a question about it.
When I hear technology, I automatically know that it is able to be hacked. It's able to be affected. The reason I know that is because some of the biggest companies in the world have had their entire technology shut down, and they have to pay hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Colonial Pipeline that comes that they got hacked. Was it Equifax, I believe? Yes. They got hacked. The crediting company that gives you your credit score and all that. Banks have the most technology and the most security of anybody on planet Earth, and people hack them like it's going out of style, like it's easy. So if you're telling me the biggest people that have the biggest financial risk are able to be hacked, you're telling me that somebody wouldn't hack it to gain control of political power in a state, in a city, or even across the country? You bet they would. So, yes, I don't trust the X's and O's, or the ones and zeros. I don't trust the binary code. No, I don't at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really common sense. My campaign is based on common sense. I'm not trying to step back. I'm not trying to relitigate 2018, 2020, 2022, but I will pursue and investigate every single case that comes before the Secretary of State's office. Right now, I don't know if you've been keeping up, but there's a couple hundred cases that's been backlogged by the Secretary of State's office.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a travesty of service. We've got to get these cases heard. We've got to, and sometimes when you slow walk things, it makes people wonder, why are you slow walking it?
Well, yeah.
And those are the types of questions that we don't want to be lingering in our electorate. And it's growing. Why is the Secretary of State slow walking these cases? Why isn't the Secretary of State fulfilling the legislative mandate last year when the legislature passed that QR codes must be eliminated from our ballots? Why hasn't that been done yet? Like, these are questions that just a reasonable Georgia citizen would ask, and we're not getting answers. And that means that there's been a dereliction of duty in the Secretary of State's office from the current administration, and they need to go. And we need to put an administration in place that's for the people.
Kelvin King is our guest on the Morning Extra, and I'm a big fan of Occam's razor, that the simplest explanation, the one that has the least amount of weirdness to it, is typically the best answer to a question. And so when I would point this out, especially to voters even 20, 30 years older than me, why do our elections take longer now than they ever have before? And I believe that's because of the technology aspect, that as we talk about, it's supposed to be this much more efficient, yet we're still having votes well after into the night, into the next day, depending on your state, weeks from that point. The Occam's razor is, well, that's because it makes it easier to cheat. And that's just me. That's just what I'm pointing out. I want this to be as simple and clean, and we get the most answers as quickly as possible as to who wins and why.
Right. I mean, I think people are, have that same concern that you have, Carlos, because it doesn't make sense. We should have more efficient technology. We should have quicker election results, if you believe in what we've been sold. But at the end of the day, I think people are more concerned with accuracy than timeliness when it comes to their voting. And I'm actually on the side of accuracy also. And when you can't audit or verify your election, when our administration says that, we're going to do a risk limiting audit, an RLA, where we're just going to pull out portions or statistically significant number of ballots, not all the ballots, just enough to create a percentage of confidence on the election outcome. No, that's not what the people want. The people just want to know who won and who lost.
And
the only way to do that is to count the ballots. And the most secure way of doing that is to count the hand-marked paper ballots. And that's what I'll push in the Kelvin King administration.
There you go. Show up to Kelvin's event, Park Bench, here at the Battery, Atlanta. We're going to be there along with Kelvin to officially launch his campaign, and we're wishing you the best, of course.
Yes,
and you're welcome back anytime, Kelvin, to talk to our listeners and talk to the voters of the state of Georgia.
All right. Hey, we're looking forward to it. 5:30, the doors open. The program starts at 6:30. We have food. We have drinks. It's at Park Bench, like Tug said, at the Battery. You can park in the red deck and just come on and have a good time, and let's get to know each other.
I love it.
Sounds great.
Kelvin King running for Secretary of State here on Extra 106.3. When we come back, we're going to talk about the media and the fact that they have found out they have no power to shape this shutdown narrative. Next on Extra 106.3, 6 o'clock hours, brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, October 7th from the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Dodgers are now up 2 games to none, heading back home to L.A. after beating the Phillies last night 4-3. The final, the Milwaukee Brewers, they're also up 2 games to none as they will head to Chicago as the Cubs lost last night 7-3. You do get a pair of Game 3s tonight. The Tigers, they host the Mariners. That series is currently tied at 1. First pitch this afternoon is set for 4:08, and the Yankees are back at home, down 2 games to none to the Toronto Blue Jays. That game tonight starts at 8:08. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
You and your buddy, you've been through a lot with each other, the ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help, but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Dio and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year, help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand, look him in the eye and say, "I appreciate you, little fella," and we're gonna get you some help. We're gonna call 404-777-1911. We're gonna visit stopmyed.com. We are gonna say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Online at stopmyed.com.
Summer is here, and it's time to enjoy your outdoor oasis as a family. Don't know where to begin? At Stovall & Company, we have everything you need to make your landscaping dreams come true. From premium mulch and topsoil to a wide variety of plants, trees, shrubs, and annuals, Stovall has it all. Check us out at stovallinc.com.
Fox on Tech.
The program is called Draft One. Deputy Dylan Lane has a body camera rolling during every incident. It records the whole interaction that gets sent to a secure cloud. Then, back at Deputy Lane's computer, the program uses the recording to create a full report with AI.
A report to this could take me up to, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes, whereas this, we're looking at 5 to 10 minutes now.
Captain Derek Ogden with the Pima County Sheriff's Department says that's not the only way they're using artificial intelligence to their advantage.
A detective from our Criminal Investigations Division used AI to help him identify a deceased, unidentified person.
Max Isaacs from NYU's The Policing Project says he sees the technology's potential, but also raised concerns about its accuracy.
AI is not perfect. It can rely on data that is flawed. The system itself could be flawed.
With Fox on Tech, Amalia Roy, Fox News.
Fox rocks.
I'm Monica DeLuca. Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, breaks her record for most first-week sales in one day, with 2.7 million copies sold. Her last album, The Tortured Poets Department, amassed 2.6 million in the U.S. in its first week. The Life of a Showgirl has also become the second largest sales week for any album since tracking sales began in 1991, behind only Adele's 25 album from 2015. Cyndi Lauper is on to her next project, her first ever Las Vegas residency. Lauper, who doesn't plan on touring again, will settle down at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace from April 24th through May 2nd next year. In her post, Lauper says Vegas will become Sin City next spring, spelling Sin like her name, C-Y-N. That's Fox Rocks on Fox News.
Extra 106.3 is live on your ride home with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder from 3 to 6 p.m.
Your FBI under Christopher Wray deliberately faked investigations on almost 100 Republicans and Republican organizations, which led Jack Smith to file federal charges against Donald Trump that led to the Mar-a-Lago raid. It all started with Christopher Wray.
The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
I do think it's funny when Kimmer calls Christopher Wray Chrissy Ray. It does make me laugh when he does that. And he does it with relative frequency. This is the Morning Xtra on Extra 106.3. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. We appreciate you being here.
I tried to experiment with something last night. And yes, what Tug was saying is that we do appreciate you being here.
Yes, we do. Yes, but
download the Extra app.
Back to the experimentation.
So I was messing with some voice cloning. Because, again, it's me and AI, like every single day, just trying to figure out something new to do, right?
Right.
It's really hard to get AI. Now, not in all cases. Like, if you have different versions, then it's easier. But when you don't have a version of someone singing anything, then it's difficult. Like, if I was to take Elvis singing, I could get Elvis to sing anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and you see that a lot where they'll mash up songs, Elvis singing like Smells Like Teen Spirit or something.
That's right. Somebody rap.
Yep.
It's easy to grab it and then create a rap. It's very difficult to take spoken word Kimmer and turn it into a song.
But I'm trying. That was the attempt.
I'm working on it.
I wonder if
it just sounds so disjointed.
Yeah. I wonder if we could lure Flounder into having Kimmer sing Happy Birthday, or you know what I mean? Like so we can get just the smallest piece. I don't know how much it takes.
Well, ideally you need at least 30 seconds.
Well, Happy Birthday would be about 30. That'd be about right.
Might work.
Like, I wonder if we can get,
because then you can get Kimmer to sing just about anything.
See, and then that opens up lots of new doors.
No, I was going to have him doing Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I love it.
Found a really good Elvis one just now, if you'd like to get a taste of that.
What? AI Elvis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I drink blood, Santa cannot lie. You are the brothers that can't deny. That when the girl walks in
to the tune of Don't Be Cruel.
Yeah.
This is good.
I'm telling you, it's so much easier when you have him already singing.
Absolutely. You can make him do it.
So much easier.
Yeah.
But if it's just spoken word, it's a little tricky.
I know. That's why we need to figure out something to get Flounder on board. And
he doesn't really turn on Kimber.
No, I know he doesn't. But if we could lie to him in some way.
Like if you were to tell him, here's a syringe full of AIDS, or it's going to get jammed into Kimmer, he'd like, put it in me.
Yeah, that's right. I'll take it.
I can survive it longer.
That's right. My immune system's better. It's younger.
I'm healthier. I'm younger.
Give it to
me.
Yeah. Or if it was like, hey, there's a transfer truck coming. I mean, it's coming right at you.
Kimmer was to step on a random landmine out in Alpharetta. You don't know why. There's no real explanation. And if he was to call Flounder and tell him, like, this is the end, buddy, I've stepped on a landmine, Flounder would be like, I'm coming out there and I'm putting my foot on it.
That's right. Don't lift up yet. I'm going to trade spots with you.
And he would just sit there and trade spots with him. He'd be like, run, Kimmer, run.
That's right. That's loyalty
right.
that we all want in our life.
Sure.
Everybody wants that. And the fact that Kimmer has it is impressive.
That's why I don't think we're going to get Flounder to get him to sing much of anything. We got to be opportunistic.
Well, damn.
I know. But hey, that's what we're going for.
That's right. We could just do our best.
We have goals.
We could try to, maybe we can try to trick him, lie to him in some way. And,
like a fake spot. Rob Jenners will lie to him. Rob calls him into his office. Hey, I need you to read this, but I need you to sing it.
Yeah, we actually the painting company that you endorse, they want you to sing their jingle. Can you do that for us? And Kimmer, just being a hardworking man, would do it. I think we've got this
would have to be the trick. That's what we have to do.
This is the way you go.
We have to work this out.
So we're going to get to that. The media is to the point now where they just feel like and starting to realize that they have no power.
I love this. Now, we had the story from last week where it showed that the confidence in the news media is at an all-time low. Good. The media died the night of the presidential debate between Biden and Donald Trump. That was when everyone realized, wait a minute, you have been lying to me for 4 years. And the media just kind of slinked away like, yeah, maybe he's not in good shape.
the Homer Simpson backing
That's
into
right. Just went right into the hedge. It's like, maybe he's not what we said that he was.
Yeah.
He's the best Biden ever. No, now you know. Well, typically, whenever we do have a government shutdown, the Democrats have always relied on the media. The media gives them cover. The media protects them. The media makes them out to be the good guys. It's those evil Republicans. They shut this thing down. And if the Democrats catch any sort of blame, it's they had to do it. The Republicans are fascist. All right, here are the numbers as of yesterday. And you can find this over at Open Source Zone. Does the government shutdown make you more likely to vote for Democrats or Republicans? Here is part of this Harvard-Harris poll. 413 people surveyed. You had no effect was 30%. Okay, that's pretty sizable. Democrats, 34%. Republicans, 36%. When the media has been freaking out trying to get the Democrats to stop this, as we've now seen for the better part of 3 days. They're like, this is not helping. This is not helping like normal. You don't understand.
They've even called people out, surprisingly, on set.
We don't have the power that we once did. We're not able to turn this for you. It's because a Harvard-Harris poll is showing that this is actually helping the Republicans more than it's helping the Democrats. Now, you could say it's within the margin of error,
sure,
but typically when this happens, it's 40-10.
Yeah, that's right.
This is in a place right now.
Because that Democrat machine had so much influence. And when I mean the Democrat machine, I'm talking about their communications wing, the media. They had so much power, so much control because they had everybody's ear. They don't have that anymore. And that's why, to Los's point, they're trying to tell the Democrats, we don't have the power. We recognize that we don't have the power.
Flat out telling them, we cannot turn this for you all. You need to stop.
That's right. You're stepping in it and standing in it, and then you're walking it through the house.
Like, we cannot make this look good for you. You need to strike a deal here.
And I don't know that the Democrats are in tune enough to actually do it. We're 7 days in, and I don't see anybody on the Democrat Party or on the Democrat side saying, hey, we need to. I hear the media doing it, but I don't see the Democrats understanding what is that they've stepped in.
I think Ted Cruz, who talked about this yesterday, has come around. I don't know if he's a listener to the show. And he's definitely a friend of show whenever he joins us. But I think he's right. This is so much about showing the Democrat voters who said they're not fighting hard enough. It's like, look, we'll do it. We'll fight. We'll fight.
We're fighting for the wrong things, but we'll fight. That's the Democrat way. It always has been. Do the wrong thing. Get it wrong. And they continue. Chicago Mayor Brandon Adams turns to nationalizing leftist violence. Next on Xtra 106.3.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, Seasons Garages.com.
Go beyond just a baseball game with your Atlanta Braves and check out Truist Park's Ballpark Tour. See the ballpark like never before and explore the franchise's rich history with artifacts, exhibits, and more, led by tour guides who will take you to places behind the scenes that most fans have never seen before, including the press box, premium club spaces, and of course, step onto the field where your favorite Braves players battle it out during the season. And each tour comes with a complimentary player chain necklace. Visit Braves.com/tours to purchase your tickets today. And did you know Truist Park can host your next event? As a year-round facility, we host private events ranging from corporate meetings, trade shows, team building events, holiday parties, rehearsal dinners, you name it, Truist Park can host it. Visit Braves.com/events to get started on creating an experience like never before with one of Truist Park's unique venues. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
This is Fox on Justice. Diplomatic investigators have uncovered a scheme run by a former State Department official who stole over $650,000 during 2 years of the Biden administration. It was quite the scheme, says U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro.
We have this person who admitted that she abused her signature authority over the State Department checking account by writing 60 checks over a 2-year period payable to herself.
The Justice Department says Levita Almuete Ferrer abused authority she had over a State Department checking account between March of 2022 and April 2024 while working as a senior budget analyst in the Office of the Chief of Protocol. She pleaded guilty April 30th to theft of government property and was then sentenced to a 12-month stint behind bars, 3 years of supervised release, over $650,000 in restitution to the government, and is banned from visiting casinos. But Pirro says her story does not end there.
The same day she pled guilty, she goes to the MGM National Harbor Casino.
Jillian Turner, Fox News.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A mom's small business in New Jersey, changing the lives of adults living with autism, makes today's Dean's List. Kelly Castro's young son, Carson, has autism, and she found out firsthand how difficult it is for those who live on the spectrum to get a job. At a young age, Kelly saw how much her son loved to bake, and that gave her an idea. Kelly decided to start a baking business called Carson's Cookie Dough that began during the pandemic and is now a very busy bakery where not only does she ship across the nation, she also employs people who live with autism and other disabilities. Kelly says she hopes the experience of working for her gives them the skills and courage to move on to other jobs where they can pursue their dreams. The response to Carson's Cookie Dough has been amazing, with people not only buying her product, but donating to keep the business running. Janice Dean, Fox News.
This is WFON and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Xtra app.
It's October 7th, 2 years later. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
They wanted to make us suffer.
Eli Sharabi was among those Hamas kidnapped in the terror attack in Israel that also left nearly 1,200 people dead, and he tells Fox.
The rage and hate was everywhere. We've been humiliated daily basis. Sometimes it was violence against us. One day they broke my ribs.
Sharabi was set free in February, but Hamas still has 48 hostages. 20 are believed to be alive in Gaza, where the war the attack triggered rages on. But there are talks a second day in Egypt on a ceasefire plan.
They're negotiating, but not face-to-face. American, Egyptian and Qatari mediators trying to overcome differences between the warring parties. The main focus of discussion right now is one area where the two sides are said to be close to agreement, the release of the remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is deploying hundreds of National Guard troops to help the Trump administration, and the Republican tells Fox.
The president has the constitutional responsibility to enforce the laws of the United States, and those laws include the immigration laws.
But Democrats in Illinois have filed suit to prevent a deployment to Chicago when a federal judge has blocked the president from sending troops to Portland, Oregon. The government shutdown is now in day 7 after funding votes again failed in the Senate. And while Democrats demand health care provisions be included, President Trump says,
we are speaking with the Democrats, and some very good things could happen with respect to health care.
Some air traffic controllers who have to keep working without pay have been calling out sick, leading to nearly 6,000 flight delays yesterday, 400 more this morning. A medical helicopter crashed last night onto a highway in Sacramento, California, critically injuring 3 people. One was trapped underneath.
The captain immediately sequestered the help of just civilians that were standing around. They were able to lift part of that helicopter out and get that victim out.
Sacramento Fire Captain Justin Sylvia. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes like Andy need your support. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Dr. Halbert here. Are you tired of standing in front of the paint aisle wondering which product really works? That's exactly why I invented Blue Stop. It took me 10 years to perfect Blue Stop's unique and effective formula. As a surgeon, I saw how stiff joints, sore muscles, and body aches kept too many people from enjoying life. Blue Stop works fast, absorbs quick, and smells great. No prescription, no waiting. It's on the shelf right now at Walmart. Feel the difference.
Extra 1063 wants to know, is this what you voted for? Call 404-741-1230 and let us know on the Morning Extra.
Tug and Los until 10 here on Extra 1063 on this October 7th. And of course, you can't help but think of the folks that were tragically taken and the people that are still being held hostage after the October 7th attacks 2 years ago. First thing I've seen this morning really about this comes from John Fetterman, of all places. And he just says, simply, F Hamas. Dude, I love the fact that he is not afraid to say the things. The Democrat Party would never say that, ever. I know his voting record sucks. I get it. But the fact that he's brave enough to say something like that, knowing that his entire party and anybody that votes for it is going to hate him for it.
I get that he's a politician, and I get that his voting is where it needs to be when it comes to being a Democrat.
Yep.
But at least he does say things that go against the normal orthodoxy of the Democrats.
That's exactly right, man.
You're not supposed to go after Hamas.
Mm-mm. No,
that's wrong.
He's quote tweeted or shared this. I guess it would be more shared this picture, and it's of the Jerusalem Post, and it says Hamas celebrates 2 years since the October 7th attack, called the terror attack a glorious day, and his tweet, his post on X is just F Hamas straight. I mean, there's nothing, no context needed. It's very straightforward. You understand it very well, and I do too. I just have no sympathy for Hamas whatsoever or anybody that supports them.
I will point out, too, you do have 6 states, I had to look it up, that do have Jewish governors, Pennsylvania being one of them. Mm-hmm. You would imagine that saying F Hamas and being from Pennsylvania is probably not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no, yeah.
In a state that's largely purple at this point, I think that that's a unifying message within that state.
I would like to think so. I would like to think it would be that unifying message anywhere. I know it's not, but it should be. It's just crazy that 2 years later that we're still dealing with this, and the president's doing everything he can to bring this to an end. We'll see how it all shakes out. Who knows? I know they're meeting in Egypt, trying to nail down because Hamas had the I don't know, the courage, I guess, to be like, no, we want to keep our guns. No, we want to stay in charge. Ain't none of that happening. No. At all.
No.
0% chance of that happening. Y'all are out.
It's like
the other Arab countries agree with that.
That's right. The rest of the region goes, no more bombs, no more firearms for you all.
We're sick of y'all, sick of this. So anyway, just something to keep in mind. If you're the praying type, maybe just a quick prayer for peace in the Middle East. Finally, we will get it and keep it, hopefully. Now, if you go up to Chicago, things don't make any sense up there either. This guy, Brandon Adams, has I think it's a 6% approval rate. 6.
Brandon Johnson.
Brandon, what did I call him? Brandon Adams?
Brandon Adams, our friend from Bulldog Daily. I was like, man, he's really not going to like that we're about to disparage our friend B.A.
That's right. Because B.A. is
Poor
amazing.
B.A. He's like,
yes.
when was it 6%? What happened? What did I do?
I thought everybody loved the show.
I thought we were doing quite well.
And he is. I love that. So they do great work. Yeah, not B.A., not Brandon Adams. Brandon Johnson, 6%. Chicago makes no sense ever.
If you have a 6% approval rating, I guess the idea of holding on to power means that you're going to create some sort of fight between you and the administration. Right?
It's certainly what it feels. It's certainly what his rhetoric and all the things that he said. That's all it is fight with the administration.
And being that, I don't know, I'm kind of interested in history. I'm not saying I'm a historical expert by any means, but I would like to think that when it comes to things that have gone on in history, different subjects, different matters, different reasons why things have occurred, if I don't know about it, I'll go read about it. And I would like to think that I've got a higher than average knowledge of history.
Good grasp.
I wasn't aware at any point that the Democrats won the Civil War. I would like for you, as I present to you, Brandon Johnson, everybody.
I've also said for the last couple of years that the extreme right in this country refused to accept the results of the Civil War. They have repeatedly called for a rematch. But in the coming weeks, we will use this opportunity to build greater resistance. Chicagoans are clear. Militarizing our troops in our city as justification to further escalate a war in Chicago will not be tolerated. The past teaches us that just because we are on the right side of history, that doesn't mean that we will succeed. It's going to take courage and determination, bravery, unity. But one thing that I know for sure in this great nation, this moment that we are in, Chicago was built for this moment.
So let me just be clear about this. He knows better.
Of course he does.
They all know better. Because if you want to historically talk about the difference in the right and the extreme right, the right during the 1860s believed that, slavery would just dissipate. It would just disappear. The extreme right was willing to kill for it, to end slavery. So come on, Brandon Johnson. Let's not pretend that we're trying to re-legislate, refight the Civil War as if you were on the right side of it. Your party formed the KKK. Your party was the whole idea of separate but equal. Your party was the one who got really upset when you had Brown versus Board of Education. Your party is the party of slavery.
And when did he talk about, he said people talk about refighting the Civil War all the time. When is the last time you heard anybody talk about refighting the Civil War?
I've only seen one group of people that are actively trying to create that sort of chaos in the streets.
Yeah. In Portland and in Chicago and in places like that.
How
Those are
weird.
the only ones. Yeah. Guys like him, man. That's why he has a 6% approval rating.
You are dependent.
You can't take that serious.
You are dependent on ignorance.
Well, that's the thing. You have to take it serious. So that's the scary part.
You are dependent purely on ignorance for people to go along with this. If you know a little bit about history, and that's part of the problem, we don't teach it in school. It's not taught. People actually believe. I remember hearing about this in our office by a woman who's since retired. She's no longer here. But I remember her telling me about how, the side switched. I was like, baby girl, the side's never switched. The abolitionists have always been the Republicans. I was like, what they did is they created a safety net, the Democrats did, in order to enslave black people again and pretend like, hey, we're just making sure that we take care of people who are down on their luck. No, it was about reinstituting controls, societal controls over people that they felt were their property.
Yeah, if we pay for everything, you owe us. If we give you something,
then you're dependent on me.
You're dependent on me. That's exactly right.
It's just a different version of slavery.
The side switched. What is that all about?
Oh, you've ever heard that? The whole theory of the side switched. I'm like, okay, that's a popular misconception. That is a figment of the imagination that the Democrats used for the longest time to pretend. if you want to be quite honest about it, the Republicans, for the longest time, did not pay attention to the black vote because the black vote would basically go 97-2, 97-3 all the time.
Yeah, it's not a good use of your resources.
And the Democrats stopped paying attention to the black vote because the vote basically went 97-2, 97-3 every single time for them.
We got this in the bag.
And so it's only been during the era of Donald Trump where you've seen black and Hispanic voters move over to the Republican Party, recognizing these people have caused this same scenario for us for 100 years. Maybe we should try something different. Maybe we should do something different. And what is the story we've got into? You have voter registration groups that have stopped, made it a point no longer to sign up young black men and young Hispanic men because they're voting Republican. They're like, if they keep voting against us, why do we keep signing them up?
Yeah, that's been written about so much.
So Brandon Johnson's going to an old playbook. It's an old, tired playbook.
A 6% approval rate playbook. One that isn't going to change anytime soon. Tell me somebody that in Chicago is going to go, you know what? He's right about this whole Civil War thing. I think I like him. That's not happening.
But people around, and I think it's a lost cause for him there. He's going to get voted out.
Yes.
Just like the rest of them get voted out. I think a lot of this comes back to, do I have a political future somewhere else by launching this? Look at how we're fighting against the Trump administration. I'll have a future somewhere else.
But think about leftists around the world, not just here, Los. He's got a 6% approval rating. I don't know what Gavin's is out in California.
It's not great.
15%, 13%, whatever it is. It's very small. You have the French government that is going to pick a new prime minister again because they're falling apart. And then Keir Starmer, that's another one in the UK. He has got, again, 13%?
But he gets to hang in for power for another 3-4 years.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to allow elections till 2029. But the reason I bring it all up is leftists are losing everywhere. People are opening their eyes to what leftism is and how much it fails.
Well, the Biden administration was losing right off the top. I mean, the Biden administration actually rigged an election. Okay, and then they legislated like a group that knew we just rigged an election. We have to get as much done as we possibly can because there's no way we're going to win another election.
They're right.
That's how they went about their business. You know, this idea that is now being rejected all around the world, most notably in the West. What are you now seeing?
Japan, though.
Yes, they're going hardcore conservative. All right.
Boy, howdy. With a woman.
With a woman who's a hardcore conservative.
Yeah.
You have the scenario now where so much of the Western world, so many of these Western governments have now decided to turn their resources against their own countrymen in the interest of, we want to keep moving in this leftist direction, this globalist agenda.
The socialism, Marxism, all
and
of it.
even though you don't want to, I'm going to turn the guns of government against you, figuratively, not actual guns, unless you're talking about actual guns, which that is happening in certain places as well. That's the idea. I mean, if anything that we saw after 2021, you had a federal government that if you chose to stand up and point out that what had gone on in your country was corrupt, the federal government's job was to put you in prison. In this country.
And did.
In this country.
Yeah.
That's a banana republic. That's what's going on around the world. It's a matter of how much harder will you push back against it. But it's silly to see what's going on in Chicago, where it's the pushback. It's not in the interest of defeating fascism or in the preserving democracy. It's all in the interest of, we're on our butt. We need to preserve power. We need to look like we're fighting against the Trump administration.
That's right. I want to flash back a little blast from the past from Margaret Thatcher, because her words, just with this conversation, they hit harder than ever. The real reason socialists don't like the freedom to choose. Listen to this.
Imagine a Labour canvasser talking on the doorstep to those East German families when they settled in on freedom's side of the wall. You want to keep more of the money you earn? I'm afraid that's very selfish. We shall want to tax that away. You want to own shares in your firm? We can't have that. The state has to own your firm. You want to choose where to send your children to school? That's very divisive. You'll send your child where we tell you. Mr. President, the trouble with Labour is that they're just not at home with freedom. Socialists don't like ordinary people choosing, or they might not choose socialism.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
That's the capper.
Dude,
I don't like people choosing because they probably won't choose socialism.
Exactly right. Once you figure it out. And there's that old saying, you can vote yourself into socialism, but you'll have to shoot your way out. Dude, we've seen it around the world a million times.
You ever think to yourself, like the people that go down that road, they have to have a belief in make-a-believe land. Because if you know any part of your history, you know, okay, this doesn't work anywhere. And then when you look at where you have aspects of socialism, like let's say, for instance, healthcare. Many of those places with a healthcare system that's socialist in nature, many of them fly here to get work done because of the wait list they have or the quality of care.
Maybe 10 years ago, the Prime Minister of Canada did the same thing, went down to Miami to get a heart treatment. This was 10 or 15 years ago. It was just a huge story.
Because it turns out a program run by the government also tends to get government workers. I'm sorry, I told you, if I had to have something done to my heart, I want the dude to roll up in a Maserati. I take that back. What I want him to do is pull up on a 200-foot yacht, and he flies his helicopter off of it, and it happens to drop off his Maserati off of the helicopter. That's the guy I want.
That's right.
I'm not looking for the government guy who's like, well, I got into medicine, and now I work for the government.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That sounds great. Come open up my chest.
Oh, yeah. Boy, I don't want any part of that. But the thing that I notice, and it reminds me of in Portland and Chicago and everywhere socialism is growing. They're setting fire to cities, and they're shooting at ICE agents to move us toward socialism. If they have to do that to get us there, can you imagine how hellish it will be once you get there? That's the thing that stands out to me.
One of the weird things about history, and one of the things where you note it, it's that when a country goes toward socialism, as you say, you have to shoot their way out. And that's 100% true. But one of the wild parts about it is when you try to leave, they shoot you. Like North Korea, you try and leave, they shoot you. East Germany, you try and leave, they shoot you.
China.
They shoot you. Like they need the workforce. The very nature of the party is we have to keep our own people enslaved to continue this form of government. And if you try and leave, we'll shoot you. I mean, the only time you've had people in probably the last, 50 years was when the Cubans actually loaded up all their criminals and sent them to Miami.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't want to deal with these.
Yeah.
Load them up. Yeah. Send them to Miami.
Exactly.
Like, why do they let all these people out of Cuba? How weird. How good. Maybe they're changing. No, they sent you all their criminals. Just like just like Central and South America did when Biden opened up the borders.
Exactly right. Empty the prisons. Empty the mental asylums. That's what we're facing right now. And for the people that are in your family and your friend group that have their head buried in the sand, and I know I have those friends and family members too, they don't want to think about it. You have to. You have to think about it. Otherwise, we are going to be in a bad way very, very soon, because that's what it's all about. It's what's happening in Portland and Chicago and all these places. We are fighting a Marxist socialist revolution in America right now. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. When we come back, Neil Bortz, the Talkmaster, I have a feeling he'll have something to say about Los's analogy about the man opening up your chest to work on your heart. Do you want the government employee or do you want the guy driving the Maserati? Next on the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3.
Wherever you are in Georgia, you can stream Extra 106.3 in crystal clear digital with the all-new Extra 106.3 app. Get Extra's live on-air stream in real time, or go back and listen to all your favorite shows, Neil Bortz, or original podcasts, no matter where you go. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticky, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Sharon Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turfco. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape, and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
This is House Call for Health. 3 people share the Nobel Prize for Medicine this year. 2 of the winners are from the U.S., the other is from Japan. The Nobel Assembly at Karolinska Institute announcing the winners in Stockholm, Sweden, for their work on peripheral immune tolerance. Their research identified regulatory T cells, which are essential for preventing the immune system from attacking the body's own tissues. And that has led to new approaches in treating autoimmune diseases and cancer. The Nobel Assembly pointing out that the discovery may also lead to more successful transplantations, adding that several of these treatments are currently undergoing clinical trials. The trio of scientists will share the prize money of nearly $1.2 million. The prize is named after Swedish industrialist Alfred Nobel, who founded the awards to recognize groundbreaking contributions to humankind. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Tuesday, October 7th. A Cobb County man who was falsely accused of a kidnapping attempt at the Walmart in Ackworth is planning to sue the city and police department if they can't reach a settlement. Mahendra Patel spent 45 days in jail after a mother accused him of trying to kidnap her son earlier this year. He was released after a judge dropped the charges in August. Patel is seeking $25 million in damages. A professor at Kennesaw State University has been awarded 2 grants to develop new antibacterial treatments aimed at tackling drug-resistant bacteria in staph infections. Dr. Thomas Leepers says the project is critical given the rapid growth of multi-drug-resistant infections, and students will be involved in the lab work. And Marietta City Schools Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera has donated his $10,000 bonus to cover college application fees for all seniors at Marietta High. The support also applies to students pursuing career certifications or military paths with the goal of eliminating financial barriers to applying. Rivera says no student should hold back from applying due to cost. This is his 7th year he's made this donation to help their futures. Today's weather mostly cloudy with a high of 81. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra.
There's Puma.
That's right. Puma man. He is a Puma underwear man. His name is Neil Bortz, and he's on the Morning Extra. What's up, Neil?
And he's going commando.
Oh, never mind. Well, suddenly he's Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1984 Commando. Okay.
He's running around.
Are you sure you guys have time for me this morning?
Yes, of course.
What? Always got time for you.
It's 7:26.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm planning on about the next 20 minutes hanging out with you if you're good with that.
Well, actually, I've been listening to you for quite a while this morning, and I'd much rather. I can't sound as good as you.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
You have everything figured out. I mean, fighting for socialism, these idiot, Democrat. Wait till you hear about this Democrat in Texas. It's my commentary this morning. I mean, this is a couple of years old. But it's just such a vivid look into the mind of a Democrat elected official.
Well, let's start right there, Neil, because what is going on in Chicago and what is going on in Portland, as much as the Democrats, the leadership, are under pressure to let's show how we'll fight back against the administration, I don't think any of this is helpful, and I think the polling is going to show that it's not helpful the way it looks.
Well, look, they're in a fight for their lives. And they know Chicago, Pritzker. How in the hell did that mind-numbed idiot ever get elected? Well, I know how he got elected mayor of Chicago. He reflected the right amount of sunlight.
That's typical for Chicago. You know that's what it's going to be with Brandon Johnson, who has, as we looked into it again today, a 6% approval rating.
I can't imagine. And I didn't spend a lot of time in Chicago, okay, but I've been there several times. I love the museum districts down by the water.
Oh, they're great.
I love
100%
museums.
awesome.
Yeah,
God,
the Radio Hall of Fame was there. I don't know where they put that thing now. But it seemed like it was just a dynamic, great city, except on the south side. How in the hell does somebody like Brandon Johnson get that much control in a city like this? Where were the businesses? Where were the corporations? Where were the people who actually work for a living? And they're in dire danger right now, because the more Trump involves National Guard troops and other measures like that, the more impotent and incompetent these leaders are going to appear, and their very political futures at stake. They have to prevent Trump from lowering the crime rate, because then he will have done something that they couldn't do.
Well,
Anywhere.
they chose not to do.
Well, that's right, chose not to do.
Well, Neil, and I want to bring that up because you've been to Chicago, I've been to Chicago. I think it's one of the great American cities.
Beautiful.
But the wild part about Chicago is that there's a status quo. And what it is that there's like a crescent moon that runs through that part of the city, that it's from this part of the lake to this part of the lake. It's where all the museums are. It's where the football field is. It's where the baseball teams are.
It's where the bean is.
Yeah, and then everything outside of that is welcome to the jungle. You can shoot it out as much as you want, as much crime as possible. And as long as you keep voting Democrat, it's fine. Donald Trump exists to upset that status quo and show you don't have to live like this any longer.
Crime. Where was that big shootout the other day? What city was that in?
Well, I mean, there's been a few.
I know.
Depends on which one you're talking about.
Was it in Montgomery, Alabama?
There's one there, yes.
Yeah. And the AJC, boy, do they ever live up to their billing as the nation's largest black newspaper. They couldn't even mention. Now, I haven't read every single article that they used to address this Montgomery thing.
Yeah.
They couldn't even mention that these were rival gang leaders. And the reason they couldn't say that is because the people of this country associate gangs with blacks. So they just had to say they were rivals. They were in this crowd and they saw rivals. Mm-hmm. And so they started shooting. They saw rival what? Soccer players, lacrosse players, rival chess champions? No, rival young gang members.
Yeah.
But they can't even bring themselves to report that because, the racial aspects of crime can't Oh, just don't get me started.
Well, you're not allowed to report on it. That's what it comes down to. I grew up with the same sort of deal when I was living in Texas, and you would have members of the Mexican mafia or any of the cartels. It was always, well, there was gang-oriented violence, but they would never describe to you who the perpetrators were, even though, all right, if I have gang violence in South Texas, I know who it is.
They're full well and knowing.
Well, they do. They assume that their readers know various facts about crime and mass shootings and what have you.
Or, Neil,
we don't have
hope
to report that. They already know these were black gangs.
Or do they hope they don't know, Neil? That's why they don't report.
I mean, the AJC, Atlanta needs a newspaper. It used to have two when I moved there. But I remember various things they've tried. For instance, mugshots. They would print a mugshot in the newspaper, and it would be, excuse me, I'm sorry, it was, tell Mike to put a damn mute switch on this thing.
We'll get on that later this morning.
Yeah. But there would be this was before the mugshots. The people in the mugshots all had tarantulas on their head. Oh. Okay? But so-and-so, Thugtavius, and, quote, posed for a picture, unquote. Instead of calling it a mugshot, they just, the victim, or not the victim, but the perpetrator there, posed for a picture.
But don't you think, Neil, that's why that nobody believes anything the media says? And Los brought it up this morning.
All-time low.
Yeah, how little that the media has, even on the government shutdown, because no one is paying attention to them. And they even are trying to tell the Democrats, we can't help you with this.
But, you know, this goes across the board. It's come to the point now, sadly. Over the weekend, I read a story that Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys is threatening a players' strike, and he's going to do this and he's going to do that if Bad Bunny isn't removed from the halftime show. And so I said, you know what, Skeptical Neil, I'm going to look it up. Never happened. Never happened. None of these people that this particular, quote, news, unquote, outlet said were protesting Bad Bunny. Didn't happen. All a lie. And now we can get away with that so easily. So easily. And sadly, it's now at the point, because of the internet and all of this, that none of us really can, except from a few very trusted sources, believe what we're reading on the internet.
Well, I saw that on Facebook, too, and I knew immediately. I was like, that don't feel real.
You know,
Facebook feel real.
Is one of the worst places to try and grab any information. The only other one that I'll hear from time to time when someone says, well, I saw it on TikTok, I'm like, not good enough.
Yeah, no. Yeah, X is about the only place.
Yeah, because at least I can source it by two or three different people. Yep. Even when it's an exclusive, there's typically a follow-up where I can say, okay, this is a legitimate piece of news that's actually out here. But you've got to be so vigilant now because of AI, because of some of the quotes that you will see that are out there. I had a friend of mine who said, did you hear what this one player said after a game? When I played it, I could see that the words coming out of this person's mouth were not the same ones that were being uttered. And I was like, it got you. It regularly happens.
And as a guy like Los is, man, he's playing around with AI all the time.
All the time.
You can manipulate anything. You can make anybody say anything you want. And if you're not paying close attention, I've been burned by it. I would be a liar if I hadn't said I've been burned by it.
Not only can they make anyone say whatever they want, they can put those words in the kitten's mouth.
Well, yes, that's right. Make kitty cat say it too.
And now they have this thing. I don't know how. I must have done something naughty when I was scrolling through the internet. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I actually looked for some anti-skid socks because I like to walk around barefoot in the house, and we have tile floors, and I don't want to boom. I don't want to...
Big man down.
Yeah, big man. Anyway, so now all of a sudden, every other thing I get on my iPad here is anti-skid socks.
Sure.
How do I stop that?
You have to clean out the cookies.
That's right. Yeah.
If you go to delete your cookies and clean out, because what happens is when you visit one of those sites, and it puts that onto your system. And part of it is helpful because if it's a site you go to regularly, let's say it's Amazon or Walmart.com, wherever, it makes it easier to get back there.
I'm going to find out how to
clear your cache, clear your cookies, and that'll keep you from getting nothing but ads for socks for at least a little while.
Yeah.
Until you look for them again.
Yes, when you look for them again, it's going back, it's going to happen.
Well, somehow this little thing, and I don't know if any of you have seen this, and I'm going to look through, what would I look through? Instagram. I'm going to look through Instagram for a second and see how long it takes this. But you come up with pictures of two celebrities.
Well, there we go. We've opened it up.
iPad.
We've opened Instagram officially.
Yeah, we come up with two celebrities, and if you click on it, then they will kiss each other. They will sit there and swap spit for your. Have you all been plagued by that one yet?
I will tell you this one, Neil. So I had a friend of mine who, him and I, most of everything for Instagram is based on our daughters. We have it so we can observe what they're doing, so that they're not doing anything on there that we don't care for. But one time, he sent me a picture of some model in a bikini, and for the next 6 months, all I got were volleyball pictures and girls in bikinis. And that was it. And so when I'd bring up, like, here, I want to show you this picture, every single time there's a picture of a girl in a bikini, no matter what.
Won't sound all that bad.
It's not terrible, but when you're trying to show your wife something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, but just remember, that's what your kids are seeing, too.
Yes,
that's right.
100%.
Absolutely it is. Which is the reason and the importance of being on social media, to help make sure you're guiding those kids to making wise choices, because some of that stuff, most of that stuff that you post never goes away, ever, ever, ever.
Well, the reason I go on the internet now is to watch puppy videos.
Me too. I gotta tell you, man, I have turned into such a cat video, animal video person. I'm with you, Neil. You and I are kindred spirits there.
Yeah, and Haysics.
What?
Hang on, I'm not sure what that is.
All right, my next thing I got to look up here.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get the
HAESICKS. She's a hillbilly.
Okay.
Can you find her?
I'm not found. Oh, yep, I have now. Yep, on Instagram, Haysics.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's just an old hillbilly like me.
She is more of a hillbilly than you are.
Well, that means
I don't
like
know.
her.
That's pretty high standards.
That's right. That means I like her that much more. What? Tell me what it is. Living in the mountains and likes talking about the banjo, she says.
Yeah, I think it's either Kentucky or Tennessee.
All right, follow.
But she used to be a dental hygienist.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just, hell with that one on the internet, net worth now around $4 million.
And she's not, it's not like she's doing anything like scantily clad. She's
and
just
so
a girl
she
next door.
decided to do the route of digital creator, the route that everyone wants to be involved in, digital creator.
Yeah.
What is she? She's a digital creator.
Do they have college degrees now in influencing?
I don't know, but it seems like there's probably something around the social media world. So I bet you can take a lot that you would learn from like a social media track, whatever that might be.
Well, I want to tell this to Neil. So my daughter has about, I think between her social medias, something like 15, 20,000 followers. And I had a friend of mine, because one thing she can do is she knows how to digitally create highlight videos. She does it for herself. She can do it for her friends. And I had a friend of mine flat out tell me, if we hired her as part of our company, she would make 6 figures immediately because of what she knows how to do and what she knows how to build. And it was one of those moments of thinking, all right, you spent a lot of time when you were 8, 9, 10, 11 years old learning how to do this, and I thought it was kind of a waste of time. Now I have people who run companies saying, if you send her to school, you're probably wasting her time.
Exactly. Now I'm so proud of my granddaughter, I could just spit.
Is this the volleyball player?
She could be.
Okay.
But at any rate, she's still in high school. But now on the weekend, she's taking nursing classes. Apparently, her goal is to become an RN.
Nice.
I like that. That's good stuff there. I know you must be proud.
I got mine. My freshman is volunteering at an elementary school at a book fair this morning. So I think we're doing something right as far as making sure they're being raised the right way.
And then, okay, I want to get to that. I've been very uninformed or boring this morning. What? Trump is going to use the Insurrection Act. That somehow sounds good to me. That sounds that sounds
Doesn't
right
sound
to
bad.
me
Yeah.
of using the Insurrection Act, because that's what's going on.
Yeah, last time it was used in '92 for the Los Angeles riots.
When you have these mindless kids out there in their Antifa uniforms attacking government law enforcement agents, you have an insurrection.
Yes.
Use the do what you have to do. I love Antifa getting pepperballed.
And each one of those government employees in each one of these facilities, it's no different than storming the Capitol. As much as these people try to make it any different, from a legal standpoint, it's no different.
And they're actually armed, Los.
Yes.
And another thing, I don't want to, from now until the day that I hang it up, I don't want to hear another damn thing about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Oh,
wow.
I am
it's a new album.
Yes.
She did great.
Come on. Compare Cardi B to Taylor Swift.
I'll take Taylor Swift every day of the week.
Okay.
I think they're both extremely talented. It's just completely different genres.
What did Cardi B sing about?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I can bring up some of it.
I was going to say, some of it I'm not really able to get into.
And look, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan in the world. I don't follow her every move or anything. But when I hear her stuff, it's fine. It's not anything that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So she sings a song about her boyfriend's erection?
No, I'm it's not everything she does is not my favorite.
Is
but
that any worse than Prince?
Yeah, that's right.
Prince did it bigger and better than that.
I don't listen to this stuff as much as you do, but I do know that a couple of years ago, "Baby, It's Cold Outside," we had to get rid of that song.
Yeah, now that was silly.
But that was the
100%.
woke
no, but that's what the left brought to us.
Yes,
We've
that
got to
mindset
get rid of "Baby It's," and now we have maybe the most famous pop star or star in the world singing about her boyfriend's erection.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I don't follow her closely. I used to when she was in country. I followed her really closely, and had the opportunity to.
I did too.
Yeah, but things have changed greatly. I think it's easy to pile on her because she's so out there. Meaning she's so popular and so big.
Maybe the biggest artist in the world.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Well, I
definitely
think she is.
Yeah, definitely that.
I think she is. And if she is, why in the world does she have to wear crotch huggers on the stage all the time?
I don't know. I can't
find her attractive, but ladies, if you want to wear crotch huggers on stage, I endorse this. Every one of you, and myself and the Talkmaster will evaluate each and every one of you.
And I'm not going to talk about Bad Bunny because I couldn't write 2 sentences about him. I don't know who he is, don't know what he does, and he's NFL halftime. Donna keeps asking me, it's Sunday, do you have any football games you're going to watch? Honey, it's Sunday. It's the National Football League. I don't watch football games.
Yeah.
I have not watched a professional football game in however long it's been since that nutcase
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, took a knee.
I get it.
I just stopped watching.
It turned a lot of people off. Absolutely.
And so, whatever they want to do with Bad Bunny, they can have a massive wardrobe malfunction in front of the entire. I don't care because I won't be watching. I don't watch award shows. They're circle jerks.
Yeah, true. It's very much so. It's the entire industry all giving each other slaps on the back.
Yeah.
Y'all did great.
Yeah, look how great we are.
It's the 2026 Oscars. Watch on TV as all of these people engage in an event of mass mutual masturbation.
You're not wrong. He's not wrong. I'm not going to fight you on it. I'm like, he's right. It's what it is.
Yeah.
That is the reason why I always loved Ricky Gervais when he did host the Golden Globes. That is the all-time. It's like, get down, get your award, go sit down, shut up.
That's right.
I know.
Here's the greatest.
Oh, I love that. I'm not an atheist like he is.
No,
he's welcome to that, But I really love Ricky Gervais.
Me too.
Nate Bargatze, I think he's great. And, okay, also something that I am interested in and am going to follow is this Patel guy filing those lawsuits.
Yeah, here in Cobb County, as a matter of fact, he was accused of trying to steal a baby.
I know.
Kidnap a kid, and obviously it wasn't true. If you look at the video, and he was dismissed. That case was dismissed, but now he spent time in jail, and now he's suing for $25 million.
I hope 25. Hope he gets every penny of it. And one more thing, you idiots out there complaining about profiling, not one of you is capable of going through a day without profiling.
Oh, right. Actually, Los brings that up all the time.
Did y'all bring me up earlier? Hey, this is Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I don't like Bad Boney.
Did you bring up Bad Boney?
Okay, I got an appointment with the lady that did my ablation a month ago.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope that goes well.
I hope it goes well, too.
I mean, you talk about hot.
Oh, Lord, Neil Bourne, the talk master, going to see
Keep
his
it
hot
under control,
doctor
Neil.
as best you can.
Okay.
And we'll talk to you again soon.
I'm gonna send y'all a picture of this.
Okay.
Please. Yeah.
Hot surgeon.
Well, just uncommando yourself before you do it.
And the places she's been, my God, but I was asleep.
Oh, Lord, Neil Bourne's the talk master, only on Extra 106.3. When we come back, how to lose a fight with Donald Trump. We'll give you the play-by-play. We'll give you the instructions next.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, October 7th from the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Dodgers are now up 2 games to none, heading back home to L.A. after beating the Phillies last night 4-3. The final, the Milwaukee Brewers, they're also up 2 games to none as they will head to Chicago as the Cubs lost last night 7-3. You do get a pair of Game 3s tonight. The Tigers, they host the Mariners. That series is currently tied at 1. First pitch this afternoon is set for 4:08, and the Yankees are back at home, down 2 games to none to the Toronto Blue Jays. That game tonight starts at 8:08. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from the Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine, sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever, Roddy, at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? You know, my buddy Jeff, the owner of Peach State Windows, he's been taking care of Georgia homeowners for almost 50 years. That's 5 decades of knowing exactly how to protect our homes from Georgia's heat and storms and everything else Mother Nature throws at us. When it comes to siding, these are the guys you'll want. Now, you're going to see ads from other companies waving around but look like the same kind of special offers and deals. Well, don't be fooled. Nobody brings the experience and quality that Jeff's team does. And right now, they've got an incredible deal. 1,000 square feet of durable hardy plank siding installed for just $49.95. Yep, 1,000 square feet of siding for under $5,000. On top of that, with good credit, you can take advantage of no money down and 0% financing for 12 months. Don't forget, say Kimmer sent you. You'll unlock special savings just for Extra 106.3 listeners. Check them out today. PeachStateWindows.com. Again, that's PeachStateWindows.com.
The Fan and Extra 106.3 are proud to salute all those who've served our great nation at our 2025 Veterans Day Golf Classic. Friday, November 7th at Heritage Golf Links. Join all your favorite Fan and Extra personalities for a day of golf, prizes, and fun, all benefiting our friends at the Warrior Alliance. Special thanks to Mizuno, Georgia Drive Chevy, First Watch, Scana Energy, Matthews Cafeteria, Crown Royal Canadian Whiskey, Patron Tequila, Surfside Iced Tea and Lemonade Vodka, and Weber Ranch Vodka.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. We're going to give you the instructions. If you're the Democrats, we need a new segment called "Here's How You Do It." When the Democrats,
that sounds very generic.
I know it.
Shouldn't he have a big sounder?
You know, maybe
like a big voice guy.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe
the stop down moment. We're like, oh, hey, this is important. This is very important.
That's right. Here's how you win if you're the Democrats.
And by the way, is your name Big?
No, it's not. It's Tug. It's Tug, yes. So
do you think that's why I call you Tugglesworth?
Yeah, it's a play off that joke.
I just wanted to make sure we cleared that out of the way from some of our responses this morning.
Yeah, right. That's the gag. That's the whole gag.
It's the whole joke.
Yes. Anyway, but when it comes to the Democrats, they always respond to Donald Trump. They cannot resist it, Los. They can't. It takes all they have.
What did I say 2 weeks ago? What did I reiterate last week? When Donald Trump trolls you, leave it alone. All right? And why do I say leave it alone? Because right now, the Democrats are in a situation where they have an 18% approval rating. And so what they're doing now is that 18%, where you will have large majorities of those living in Chicago and Portland, they think that they're being righteous. They think they're doing the right thing. Look at how we're getting after this guy. Your 18% is going to be 15% before you know it, because you've decided to respond to Donald Trump. And you actually think that this is working on, let's face it, if you're involved in guerrilla warfare, you're in guerrilla warfare because you're trying to win hearts and minds. What you're doing isn't winning hearts and minds. In fact, to see CNN even yesterday try and make it out that shooting at an ICE facility is somehow a rowdy protest.
A demonstration.
It's a rowdy demonstration. Oh, really? You're shooting at a facility.
I've never heard shooting at anything called a demonstration.
You've now had 2 different facilities in the state of Texas that have been shot at. And a multitude of deaths. And that's a rowdy demonstration. What my suggestion is, because of what's going on, you got to read the room at some point, Democrats, and look around and say, why is there only 18% of us? And yeah, we got this crowd. We got this. Look at Chicago. We vote Democrats at this level. You are the 18%. Hey, we're Portland. We got a lot of people that agree with this. You're the 18%. All you're doing, and please keep it up, is just guaranteeing the security of Republican power for the next several years.
If not decades.
I know what you're going to do when you're left to do what you're going to do. The Teachers Lounge, we got a really good look at what the Teachers Lounge is from 2021 to 2024. It's ridiculous to the point where you lost a popular vote in 7 swing states.
But it was close.
But it was the closest in history ever.
And I bet that 18% believe that.
Yes, they do. And they're just waiting for their marching orders. But if you have an 18% approval rating, and when you look around and say, hey, a majority of my community feels this way about this, when do you have that moment of going, wow, we really are nuts?
I don't.
Like, do crazy people know they're crazy?
That's you beat me to it. They don't know.
Like, I think about
they've convinced themselves. My sweet Aunt Peg, she's convinced herself of all these things.
I think about the weird leftists that will hit me up on X and will have the most outlandish points. And I think, do you have the self-awareness to know that you sound crazy or know that you're obsessed? Know that the points you're making are only valid on Mother Jones or Reddit or the weirdest places in Discord? It's like, don't bring that silliness over here. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And the mayor Reelsville.
Right.
All right? Like, I don't have time for your craziness. But you keep putting it in my face, just like what Antifa's doing in Chicago and Portland. And you think it's normal. It's not.
Dude,
it's not helpful.
There was a post that goes right along with this. And it was literally my sweet Aunt Peg. When they made the announcement about autism and the rates of autism and why is it skyrocketed, they took offense to it. They were defending the members of the family that have autism. They didn't understand that we want to find out why those children have autism. They were so offended. And I couldn't figure out why. What they were saying made no sense. It goes back to the crazy. Are you so crazy that you don't realize you're crazy?
Here's the other thing. And I don't care if it's Tulsi Gabbard or Pete Hegseth or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. When you do there are hundreds of people more qualified. Yeah, but the president gets to pick who he wants. And once they get through confirmation, that's the end of that. That's what the chief executive gets to do. You can talk about there are 100 people more qualified. No, but he picked that one.
That's right. Gosh, dude.
That's how the power works, man.
And they're they want it so badly. They want it so badly, and they can't have it, and now they're violent because of it. The AG candidate in Virginia who fantasizes about murder, he will get dumped. Next.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
Well, let's wander into the darkness that is the Democrat Party and see just how deranged Democrats can be. Terry Meza, Democrat, state representative, Irving, Texas, near Dallas. She doesn't like the castle doctrine where you can protect your home against an intruder. This brilliant Democrat says that thieves only carry weapons to protect themselves and to provide the householder an incentive to cooperate. They just want to get their stuff and get away. People only get hurt when the resident tries to resist. So Terry Meza introduced a bill that would require homeowners to flee the home at the first sign of an intrusion. And if they cannot flee their house, they must cooperate with the intruder. And if violence does break out, it is the homeowner's responsibility to make sure that nobody gets hurt. And that means you use the minimum non-lethal force against the intruders. And what if you don't? What if you hurt one of them? Oh, my God. The intruders, under her bill, would be allowed to sue the homeowner for any injuries they receive at the hands of the homeowner. But wait, it gets worse. Remember, we're describing a Democrat. Terry Meza says that in most instances, the thief needs the money more than the homeowner does. And, now please be sitting down, the transfer of that property is likely to lead to a more equitable distribution of the wealth. After all, the intruder needed that money. She says, if I can help make the transfer of this wealth from the homeowner to the thief a peaceful one, well then, so much the better. Democrats gotta love them and pity them because they're sick. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
They are mourning October 7th in Israel. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
And we are still fighting 2 years later, as you said. 2 years later, and they're still not here.
Laron Berman's brothers are among the 48 hostages Hamas still holds, kidnapped in the terror attack that killed nearly 1,200 others and triggered the war in Gaza. And though he's hopeful about talks continuing today in Egypt on a ceasefire plan that would free all those hostages, Berman also tells Fox.
Until they are here, they are not yet here. So a lot can happen.
The government shutdown is now on its 7th day, with Congress still in a stalemate over funding. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers off the job, but those deemed essential have to work without pay, like air traffic controllers, and some have been calling out sick. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy just told Fox,
I want our controllers to go to work. That's their job. They're important jobs. Eventually, they're going to get paid. But we got to be honest, they're humans, and they're under pressure.
There are almost 500 flight delays so far this morning after almost 6,000 yesterday, in part because of those controllers' sickouts. The Trump administration is going to appeal the federal judge's ruling blocking the president from deploying National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon, where protests have raged on against immigration raids. Fox's Mark Meredith is at the White House.
It's unclear how long the appeals process may stretch on for and how the higher courts may rule. The confusion certainly has the president looking at other options. He told reporters on Monday he may invoke the Insurrection Act at some point and deploy the military.
If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that.
Democrats in Illinois have also filed suit to block troops from being sent there, but Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican, is deploying his guard to back up the Trump administration. They handed out the Nobel Prize for Physics this morning, shared by 3 scientists in the U.S. for their work in what's called quantum tunneling, that's helped develop digital technology. Friday, we'll find out who gets the Nobel Peace Prize. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes like Andy need your support. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
I used to stand in the paint aisle staring at all those products and wondering which one actually worked. I wasted so much money on things that didn't help. Then I tried Blue Stop, and let me tell you, it works. It soothes my sore joints and stiff muscles fast, absorbs quickly, and even smells great. Millions of people already trust Blue Stop, and now I do too. No prescription, no waiting. It's on the shelf right now at Walmart. If you want real relief, choose Blue Stop and feel the difference. Blue Stop at Walmart today.
Coffee, keys, and extra 1063. That's how I get to work and home.
Top of the morning to you, Tug and Los until 10 here on the Morning Extra on Extra 1063, 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. Just appreciate you being here. Hoping that you'll share Extra 1063 and the Morning Extra with someone who might appreciate it. Maybe somebody that you talk with at work, maybe around the water cooler, and they share your values. And you can say, hey, I don't know if you know about this this community radio station, one that it's like the little engine that could, and it is making a difference in the conservative world and conservative discussions. You should download the app and listen to it, give it a listen, see what you think. That's all we ask, if you could just pass along.
Did you hear they have an ex-MMA hillbilly star?
Yeah, it's amazing.
He's a fighter.
Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah.
And that's the selling point. Come hear the fighting Tug.
the fighting hillbilly. He once in a while wears shoes. Most of the time, not.
On YouTube, you could tell he ain't got no shoes.
Yes, there's definitely no shoes.
There's no shoes there.
And he's got Kmart feet. Because he wears no shoes.
They're all black and brown.
That's right. They're just dirty, filthy.
Remember that I tried to explain Walmart foot to my daughters, and they were like, "What do you mean, Dad?" I'm like, "It's what you got right now."
Yeah,
like,
right.
How do you get that? Like, they actually thought if you go into Walmart, you would get no. It's when you don't. It's a dirty floor and
dirty feet, dirty floor.
Right.
And when I was growing up, there was a Kmart on Cleveland Highway in Dalton, Georgia, and oftentimes a large percentage of the people that were there were not wearing shoes. Oftentimes it was children, but they just wouldn't wear shoes. I mean, I remember noticing. I was like, I mean, I'm a hillbilly, don't get me wrong, but I've gotten to the point where I wear shoes.
That is the point where I enjoy the beach communities, where you might wander in somewhere and you don't have a shirt. Like, you're all right.
It's
no,
fine.
no shoe, no fine.
That's right. But at Kmart on Cleveland Highway.
Regular establishment. You're going to need them shoes and the shirt.
Yes, and if you don't, if you don't have them, maybe wait in the car or something.
Right. If you don't want to partake in clothing, just give it some time.
Like Neil this morning.
No, exactly. Now, I'm not saying that if you want to do the drive-through at McDonald's, no problem.
Yeah, nobody's going to think a thing of it. You're in your car.
If you want to go classic Sonic, might be a little weird for the person to have to come up to your car and you don't have a shirt or shoes or shorts or
They'll
whatever.
notice.
They'll notice. It'll be a little strange, but it's not out of the ordinary like you deciding to go call the wild.
Yeah.
At Kmart.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where, at least in my experience, that's where Kmart feet came from. That it happened with such regularity that we labeled it.
That's our tip that we give you.
That's right. Do we have a sounder?
That's for our NBC, The More You Know.
That's right. Doon, doon, doon. Yeah.
There you go.
No.
There it is.
The more you know.
If you take away anything today, it's, hey, listen, if you don't want to wear clothes, just don't go in the store.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. Drive-throughs, other place. You can order anything you want on Amazon, no clothes.
Yeah.
But if you want to walk into the Kmart
or Whole Foods owned by Amazon,
need you to wear clothes.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to put
just a little bit of clothes.
Need you to put some braziers on because it's required.
We have standards around here.
Well, a small amount. They're not great. We don't require suits and ties or anything.
We're going to an event this evening for Kelvin King, and we're going to have to dress a little bit, which is going to require. I don't think you should shave, but just clean yourself up a little bit. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Just clean myself up a little bit.
And it's out of respect for him.
Yes.
That's the thing.
The thank you for us getting a chance to address this group of people at Park Bench. And you can go over and actually, if you want to take part, there's still some spots open at 5:30 to 8. And this is a chance to let Kelvin talk about why he believes he should be the next Secretary of State of Georgia. And let us talk.
And hear what we might say. See if I can come up with something. Los gave me a great idea this morning, having some sort of song lyric to see if somebody picks up on it.
That's right. Tug is going to wear a bolo tie, and he's going to try and work in as many country song lyrics as possible.
It'll be great. Everybody's going to love it. I know they will. Like, get this dude off the stage. What's he doing?
Is that from Thunder Rolls?
I think it is. The lightning strikes.
He just went Thunder Rolls.
That's right. The next thing that comes out of his mouth is going to be some George Strait reference.
Is that Conway Twitty?
It has to be. Huh. It has to be. It's Conway covering the Pointer Sisters' Slow Hand.
There you go.
That's the connection.
Because see, you want a man with a slow hand.
That's right.
And that's where everyone's like, oh.
Do I? Wait a minute. I'm not sure I do or not. But anyway, it will be. It's going to be so much fun, and I hope you will join us.
Tug is not going to leave there in a heated rush.
No. Mm-mm. No, I don't go anywhere in a heated rush, to be honest with you. It's been a rarity throughout my life that I ever go anywhere too fast. I just don't have the ability. I don't got the ability to speed up too much.
The yon't to?
The yon't to, all right. So Democrats are, they're kind of in a bad spot in so many places. But Virginia specifically, the fact that Jay Jones... it's been discovered that he fantasizes about murdering people, including children, and hasn't lost one endorsement. And everybody around him is saying, well, yeah, we still support him. At some point, this is going to catch up with him, Los.
This is so fraught with danger because you have the governor. The people that are running for governor knows this is a terrible deal. This is not good. The news media knows that Jay Jones should be out. The Democrats, they continue to poll there in Virginia are like business as usual because that's how they talk to one another. Part of what the power of exposing the people who had horrible things to say after the assassination of Charlie Kirk is because this is what they say to each other all the time.
All the time. It'd be like if I came in here and just started ripping cuss words all the time. You'd be like, hey, man, ease off on that. But if I did it every day, it wouldn't stand out to you.
Well, and again, but you're also broadcasting from a microphone. If you were to come in here every day and you and I were laying tile and all you did was, talk about a particular group of minorities in your community and you did that every day, I'd be like, okay, that's just what he feels comfortable doing.
Yeah, he's good with that.
All right,
and they are good with it.
They're used to talking about violence against us. They don't have a problem with it. They love talking about, man, maybe this is the... Remember how they fantasized about Trump being sick?
Yes. Oh, and him being shot.
He's going to die. Have you seen what's wrong with him? Hey, he's over at Walter Reed. Like they fantasized about it.
People that sat behind me at the concert I took my wife to. 3 people talking about how sick Trump was. They were convinced of it.
They were fantasizing about it. And again, this is before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This is how they talk to one another. The problem is that now it's gotten out in the open. And so I want you to listen. Here's the mainstream media. Here's MSNBC, who's decided this is too hot. This is too problematic because while it may not matter in this race in Virginia, it's going to matter around the country.
Text messages. Deeply disturbing messages that have been swiftly condemned across the political aisle. The Republicans have tried to tie this to the Congresswoman Spanberger, the gubernatorial candidate. She did very quickly denounce them. But it's unclear whether this Attorney General candidate will stay in the race. I think there's a growing sense that he probably should not. We heard President Trump last night. But even some Democratic leaders, John Hyman, have started to say, like, look, this is inappropriate. You can't, and especially at a time right now with such concern about violent rhetoric and political violence. Who says that? Yeah, that this is just way beyond the line.
I would say, not to be too much on the high horse. It's wildly inappropriate under any circumstances. Today, tomorrow, 10 years ago, 6 months ago. I think the pressure is going to be on Spanberger and for the whole of the party to ask this candidate to just quit the race because just both it's the right thing and also the political splashback. You don't want to mess with this right now.
Who says that?
I think the right thing to do is basically this guy should do everyone a favor and step out of that race.
Yeah.
That is interesting that they're now going that direction with something where, again, the constituency in Virginia don't have a problem with this rhetoric, don't have a problem with this violence.
You saw a bunch of the Democrat organizational groups that support the party come out with their messaging. Make sure you dig in. They were saying support him so much to dig in to support him.
Whereas NBC is pointing out this is not helpful for us nationwide.
And they recognize it.
This is not good. You can be as barbarian as you want in Virginia. If you get this man elected, if the Democrats in Virginia get this man elected, it is going to resonate throughout the rest of the country that, oh my God, they really are trying to kill us. And the other Democrats who are just kind of run of the mill are, oh my God, they really are killers.
At some point, those center left Democrats, whoever's left, because so many of them have left the party already, are going to then abandon the party. I'm not saying they become conservative. I'm not saying they become Republican, but they might become independent because they want to steer clear of this. And in that clip, though, even though NBC condemns it, even though they say this is not good for us, it was interesting to see them prop up the Democrat in Spanberger to say, well, she swiftly condemned it. Condemning it just to say it's not okay, that's one thing. But what you need to do, what you should do is say, dude, you're not worthy of running for the job that you're going after. You're going to be you're going to be the head law enforcement person in the state as AG, as Attorney General. You're deciding how things are tried and when they're tried or if they're not tried. When you're fantasizing about murder, a capital offense that would be premeditated, get out of here. How can I trust you to do anything in the legal system?
Because the Democrats actually don't mind it.
Well, of course, but I'm saying for regular, everyday folks, they're looking at it like I do.
But there are going to be people that are around the country, and this is where we talk, that 18%, they do exist, and they talk to one another, and this is what they say to one another. As you pointed out, you went to a concert and had 3 people behind you fantasizing that Trump was sick and was going to die that weekend.
And were convinced of it. You should have heard them, Los. I was not paying it. My wife was asking me if I wanted some M&Ms.
So imagine how long...
And all I could do is listen to them.
How long does it take to get from you're fantasizing over the death of a president to, well, what's the problem if you happen to talk about you're hoping that your opponents catch a bullet? You already saw it. And in mass, how they reacted to Charlie Kirk.
And something that Clay and Buck had brought up a while back, it was the whole if you could kill baby Hitler thing.
Yes. The baby Hitler scenario.
But fast forward to what he was talking about killing those children because they're going to grow up to be fascists.
Yeah.
Those are not two different conversations.
No.
One actually encourages the other, or at least is making the other acceptable.
I did hear a really funny comedian who brought up the whole theory of like people who give you the baby Hitler scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I couldn't do that. It's like, but I have teenagers. Maybe teenage Hitler. And I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dark comedy.
It is really dark.
It's very dark comedy.
Really dark.
It's like, nah, can't kill a baby.
Mm-mm.
Teenager, though.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they will drive you crazy. You want to strangle them anyway.
But
all the time.
But to think, this is how these people talk to each other all the time. Their message boards are like this. Their Discord chats are like this. When you get, I can go find you right now. In fact, I'll go do it. There is somebody who covers the NFL that I read one of their posts that was Antifa oriented. I'm going to find this for you. This is how they talk to one another. Just give me a moment. I'm going to pull this up and just show you. I'm like, this is how they talk to one another.
If I were to come in every day and talk about murdering someone in the office with regularity, and I talked about it to Jure and I talked about it to Los, at some point they're going to be like, hey, man, he talks about that an awful lot. I'm sure he's joking. I'm sure it's not real. But it would make you wonder. At some point, you'd be like, this dude, should I talk to him about this? Should I let him know that this is not okay? That would be my presentation. That if it were the roles were reversed, be like, dude, I feel certain. I would say, I feel certain you're not going to do this. But, hey, man, you talk about that an awful lot.
So when you had two members of Antifa, and this is the video where one of them gets pepper sprayed, it's the woman who's escalating. And as we pointed out yesterday, we don't know what she has said. But clearly, she's saying something directly to the law enforcement official, and he just decides now's the time for the pepper spray.
I've had enough.
That is at your discretion. Is that lethal?
Nope.
No, it's not lethal.
It burns like the devil.
Yes. So whatever you were doing, he decided to de-escalate by using a non-lethal option. Isn't that something that the left would always talk about?
That was what they wanted you to do when they were in the defunded police thing.
So off that video, this person who's a wild leftist and not especially a winner posts it. And let me just give you an example of what somebody who follows him, who's another West Coast Antifa-friendly liberal, had to say. Off of this video, it's assault, and it's illegal, and these people should be put down, and they should be put down hard. Goes on to say this, and this is where I tell you, this is how they talk to one another. When they think, no one's going to see this. What's the big deal? The biggest lie ever told is that liberals don't have guns. Half of us in the West grew up outdoors, hunting, Boy Scouts. We have more money, we're in better shape, and we will slaughter the red hats and their spawn.
Oh, wow. How about that? Which goes right in line with Jay Jones.
What do you think this is out in the open on X.
Yeah. Can you imagine what they say in private?
This is what they say to each other all the time. I will reiterate. The biggest lie ever told is that liberals don't have guns. Half of us in the West grew up outdoors, hunting, Boy Scouts. We have more money, we're in better shape, and we will slaughter the red hats and their spawn.
It was pretty much in line with what Jay Jones had. He wanted to kill his political opponent because he was a fascist, a red hat, and his children to make him change his policy. They're saying the exact same thing, Los. Nothing different between those two statements.
This is how they talk to each other. This is what they fantasize about. This is not rare. Why do you think Democrats in Virginia are going, all right?
Dig in. That's what the Virginia Beach Democrats said, dig in.
Because they say the same thing to one another every weekend. That water cooler conversation is darker than you ever could imagine because it is a cult. It is a party of death. I mean, could you imagine how hard it would be that you're fighting for the right? And this just kind of goes off topic, but it should encapsulate all of it. Who fights harder to kill children than Democrats?
No one. They wanted you to fund it. Actually, they want you to pay for it. Your federal dollars to fund it and pay for it.
So if that is the heart of your platform, you really think you're that concerned about your political opponent?
No.
You really think you're concerned about a 31-year-old guy with 2 young kids just looking to talk to college kids? No.
We're just fine. And as a matter of fact, celebrated. A huge portion celebrated when a little over 3 weeks ago that happened. You and I were shocked to see it happen and then shocked at the celebration. They weren't.
I wasn't shocked one bit at how they act. I mean, as much as going, wow, you did it out in public. Well, it's going to cost you your job.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Oh, no.
But I think the majority of Americans were shocked. I don't think the majority of Americans know that these conversations happen. Which is why it's so important that we have the conversations.
It was very enlightening that this is the conversations they have all the time.
And you gave one, and then we compared it to what Jay Jones has said, and they're identical. And then the celebration after Charlie Kirk should not be surprising. When we come back, we'll run the numbers for you to show you how the Democrats own the Schumer shutdown. Next on Extra 106.3.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about True Prep. First off, you've noticed the weather's cooling off. Well, now's the time to go visit True Prep, 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta, or go online, trueprep.com. That's truprep.com, because the deals, well, the weather's getting cooler. They're getting hotter. True Prep has their fall clearance sale. Take advantage of markdowns across every department, from firearms to prepping products, and save up to 66%. So don't wait. Supplies, as you know, when they have these kind of sales, things fly off the shelves. You can always go to trueprep.com. You can check their sales and clearance items, see what's available on out there. And then also, here's something else. We always talk about when you decide to buy your next firearm from True Prep, know that they are taking care of you on both ends. They have another Firearm Fundamentals for first-time buyers. That one's going to be this Sunday from noon to 3. Here's the fun part. It's free. Buy the weapon. Buy the firearm. Get free training. That is what they have. Fundamentals for first-time firearm buyers. Again, Sunday, noon to 3 over at True Prep. Go to trueprep.com. That's truprep.com, and click fall clearance as well. These deals are only for in-store and while supplies last, so hurry. Get to True Prep today.
A born leader never rests. The GLE SUV continues to advance its legacy with intuitive technology, rich refinement, and all-hybrid power, including a plug-in model. From safety to style, leadership is a GLE family value. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 SUV. Just $759 per month for 36 months with $62.13 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta and Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the RBM of Atlanta's fall sales event, now through October 31st. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through October 31st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Fox on Tech.
The program is called Draft One. Deputy Dylan Lane has a body camera rolling during every incident. It records the whole interaction that gets sent to a secure cloud. Then, back at Deputy Lane's computer, the program uses the recording to create a full report with AI.
A report to this could take me up to, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes, whereas this, we're looking at 5 to 10 minutes now.
Captain Derek Ogden with the Pima County Sheriff's Department says that's not the only way they're using artificial intelligence to their advantage.
A detective from our Criminal Investigations Division used AI to help him identify a deceased, unidentified person.
Max Isaacs from NYU's The Policing Project says he sees the technology's potential, but also raised concerns about its accuracy.
AI is not perfect. It can rely on data that is flawed. The system itself could be flawed.
With Fox on Tech, Amalia Roy, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Tuesday, October 7th. A Cobb County man who was falsely accused of a kidnapping attempt at the Walmart in Ackworth is planning to sue the city and police department if they can't reach a settlement. Mahendra Patel spent 45 days in jail after a mother accused him of trying to kidnap her son earlier this year. He was released after a judge dropped the charges in August. Patel is seeking $25 million in damages. A professor at Kennesaw State University has been awarded 2 grants to develop new antibacterial treatments aimed at tackling drug-resistant bacteria and staph infections. Dr. Thomas Leipers says the project is critical given the rapid growth of multi-drug-resistant infections, and students will be involved in the lab work. And Marietta City Schools Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera has donated his $10,000 bonus to cover college application fees for all seniors at Marietta High. The support also applies to students pursuing career certifications or military paths with the goal of eliminating financial barriers to applying. Rivera says no student should hold back from applying due to cost. This is his 7th year he's made this donation to help their futures. Today's weather mostly cloudy with a high of 81. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Stop that.
Well, I didn't mean to. Fault. I didn't mean to upset you that way. During Jerry's updates, I upset Los and didn't mean to.
Yeah,
it's an accident. I used a 4-letter word with him that I need to apologize for.
I was watching some Wemby highlights, and I said, this is the year that he gets to MVP level, and we're back in the playoffs. And Tug says, well, you can hope.
Here's hoping. I thought that would be a good thing.
I said, you shut your whore mouth.
There's no hope. We're getting it done.
Dirty tongue of yours.
That's a fan right there. Someone that will attack.
That's right. It's been a while since they've been in the playoffs. Got to get back there.
Yeah. So
big man, big team.
I'm gonna chop off a letter. Go with a 3. They will. Los.
Okay.
They will.
Better.
They're going to do
stronger.
Down to 2-letter word. They're going to do exactly what you want them to do.
When does the NBA season start?
Later this month.
Okay.
Yeah. We're a couple weeks out still.
Hockey starts today, doesn't it?
Hockey gets going this week.
Dre, you're the hockey.
So I got to pick my team because we don't have a team here, and so I just pick one based on
flip a coin.
Yeah.
All right.
Last year was the Canes.
All right. How'd that go?
They did not win the Stanley Cup.
Not well.
Oh. Awkwardly. Yeah. They did not win.
So I was rooting for a loser.
Made it to the playoffs, though.
Oh, okay.
Like that squad a lot.
All right. We referenced this poll earlier in the show.
October 22nd, by the way.
Oh, is when NBA starts?
Yeah, 21st, 22nd basically is when it gets cranked up.
There we go. So if you're a Hawks fan, then that's what you're shooting for. So a little later in the month.
Yeah, a couple weeks. We're good.
Should Democrats end the shutdown by accepting a continuing resolution at current levels of expenditures until the actual spending bills are passed, or should the Democrats hold out until they get those additional funds for Obamacare that they are shutting down the government for? Bad news for the Democrats, because the numbers say 65% of Democrats say that they should accept that clean CR that the Republicans have presented. And we told you over and over and over again, and now you're seeing it play out in the numbers, the Schumer shutdown is not good for the Democrats, which is what they've always preached. They've always said. And there's so many videos of Democrats out there going, I don't know why they have to politicize this. We're just trying to fund the government for a few more months till we figure it all out, till we nail it and hammer it all out. Now, the polling shows it. We've told everybody, and now everybody, there's no hiding from it. The media can't cover for them. It is over for the Democrats when it comes to this shutdown. They own it. It's in their lap, and it's damaging their party even deeper.
It makes you wonder what kind of advantage you're seeking at this point. Because if the polling tells you that it's not changing votes, if the polling shows you it's not damaging your opponent, which it's not, we went through that last hour. If the polling you're bringing up shows that most Democrats believe at 65%,
65%,
just sign it. Let's keep the clean CR and keep this thing moving. What are you angling for?
What's the play?
What's the play here that's worth taking the political damage?
And this is not like some conservative poll. This is the Harvard-Harris poll, which always leans toward the Democrats. Always. Can you imagine what the number would be if it was a conservative outlet conducting this? Because you can manipulate polling numbers. You can make them, depending on your...
You base it on your sample.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are your sample? You're supposed to get a clean, good sample, which means anyone and everyone has an equal chance of being picked. If you sample a particular area, you'll get particular results based on their voting patterns.
Let's say if you did this poll in Washington, D.C.
Then I know more than likely what I'm going to get.
Absolutely right. This is a Harvard-Harris poll, and it says a huge majority, 65% of Democrats, say open it back up. And so, again, the president's going to take a victory lap on this. They shared it last night. It was right before I went to bed. The White House press, where they sent out all their press releases, they shared it, and they were gloating about it. And they get to gloat about it. They're able to say, see, we told you. And they're right. They're absolutely right. More Americans want the government shutdown to end. And they got the poll in there. They've got all the breakdown. And they're able to take and dunk on the Democrats again as you watch basketball.
It's a Wemby dunk.
That's right.
It's in the background. See how it draws the eye when you're like Wemby, put it down on Chuck Schumer.
That's exactly right. But they're so, and the president is such in the driver's seat that this doesn't even make him flinch. So holding out to make the Democrats suffer more is just fine with him.
If you don't get the PBS money, fine. If you don't get the money for a lot of the overseas silliness, fine. If you can't buy the 40,000, because they wanted the 40,000 stock options in the European bank. All right, if you can't do that, doesn't this really just come down to you need to secure state fundings for illegals?
Yes.
Which was the whole point that the Republicans were pushing.
That's right.
And if I can't get the rest of it, isn't that the only reason why you're doing this?
And Gavin Newsom, yes, the answer is yes. Gavin Newsom shared this. Well, don't you realize that starting in the next couple days, the Burbank Airport not going to have any air traffic controllers? And he's drumming up the support. He's trying to get somebody to buy into what he's selling. And then you look at this polling, and you're the one, Gavin Newsom, that's going to be blamed for it. You support this. Now, I'm not saying Gavin has a voting, he can't vote, he's a governor. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is your party and you supporting this shutdown is causing what's happening at the Burbank Airport. And the polling shows that everybody knows it. No matter what you say, Gavin Newsom, about the Burbank Airport losing all the air traffic controllers, it's up to you and it's up to your party.
We talked about this last week, and let's just go through it one more time. You have the scenario where the Democrats have to secure this money for illegals to go to the states. And why do they need that? As Tug ran through some of the numbers, the healthcare system in California is threatening to collapse if they don't get the federal money because they're spending so much on illegals. That is how they're maintaining their census numbers. They're keeping people within the state. If they are no longer able to afford to provide health care for them, there is a real fear that these people will go back home. And now you have a continued exodus from California that costs them more seats in Congress. That is the rub here. That's the game.
They're horrified of that. They're terrified of that because that's all they have left at this point. Everyday Americans are like, I don't want no part of this. I don't feel good about. That's why there's such an exodus from the Democrat Party. The walk away campaign is real, and they know it. They're seeing it in places like New Jersey. They're seeing it in places like New York. They're seeing it even some in California where people are like, I've had it. I'm going to pack up and leave. I mean, California, they lose 500,000 people last year?
They have now had 5 straight years for the first time in their history. First off, never in their history has California lost population. Since it became a state as part of the union, it has every year gone up in population until the COVID mandates of 2020, in which case more companies and more people continue to leave. I have friends of ours. The woman who was maid of honor in our wedding, she left California after 20 years. You know where they moved to?
Texas?
The Carolinas.
Oh, Carolinas, yeah.
They're like, we can't do this here anymore. This is insane. They moved all the way across the country to the Carolinas. We have other friends. They lost their home in the fires, the wildfires. You know what they did? They went and stayed in Florida and went, it's kind of nice here and the pricing's pretty good. Let's move to Florida. You know, this is not, I can tell you, hey, those are 2 stories, Los, but it's indicative of what is happening. And so why do you think California is working so hard for this money to come through the Democrat coffers? Why they need your tax dollars so bad? Because they're insolvent with what they're spending to keep illegals there.
And because they lost USAID that funded it all to begin with.
Yes.
That's the biggest.
That's one of the biggest ones. Yep.
Exactly right. And they are furious over it. They're trying to figure out, how do we backfill? How do we get this money? It used to come to us so easy and in stacks.
Yeah, it used to be that our tax dollars found their way to all these programs, and we went, well, how did that happen? And it was, well, they've got donors. They have people that are making contributions. No, it was your tax dollars.
Did you know, it wasn't George Soros.
No, it was your tax dollars being filtered through NGOs that found their way into these places.
He had the guiding hand, but he wasn't spending his money.
No,
he was spending yours.
That's how they made this money. That's how they got their money.
So easy to do. That's why they were so married to it. That's why there was never a question about Democrats having money.
Remember, when USAID was going away and Marco Rubio basically stripped it down to nothing before closing it down, remember what they told you? This is going to cost like 50,000 lives. This is going to cost 150,000 lives across Africa. Everything was about how many people were going to die. What they didn't want to tell you is, we don't know how to launder your money if we don't have this. We don't have the operations to launder your money.
Not at that scale, anyway.
Not at this scale.
I bet they still got a few.
No, we built this over this amount of time. Now what? That's why if you're not getting money for PBS or any of your crazy stuff all around the world, then what this really comes down to is the Democrats won't cave because they desperately need money for California, for New York to a lesser extent as well, to pay for these programs to keep illegals in their state with health care.
And not collapse the entirety of the California healthcare system, because that's what's going to happen if they don't get some of this money. The entire system folds on top of itself under the weight of everything that's going on. I'm a huge fan of Carolyn Levitt.
Is it okay that I'm getting more attracted to her?
Yes, I think it is. But she's a stunning lady.
Yes.
That aside.
Friend of the show.
Yes, that's right.
She's been on the show.
That aside, though, even the fact that she's stunning, the fact that she comes out and takes the gloves off, man, she fights like it's Fight Club.
There is no notebook.
No, which is even better.
Which makes it more fun.
Right.
So this is Miss Caroline Levitt. She has, in this case, she has Caitlin Collins, who from CNN, who is in the briefing room, and she's getting the discussion point ends up kind of bouncing around. But what Caroline Levitt decided to do is, I know who you are, I know who you represent, and I know what you don't tell your audience, and now I'm about to tell the whole world.
I would encourage you as a reporter to go on the ground and to take a look at it for yourself, because there's been many members of the press, not press in this room, but independent journalists, some of whom we'll be inviting to the White House very soon to share their stories, because they have been in the middle of these riots and they have witnessed the anarchy that is taking place night after night. It's on video. You should play it on your show. You have a great opportunity in prime time on CNN to show your audience. Yeah, but you're probably talking to partisan Democrat officials who are opposed to everything this president president does. You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said that this is complete civil disobedience. It's a mess. It's been loud. It's been troubling for neighbors in the community who are just trying to live peacefully. And these people are not there to peacefully protest. They are there to cause mayhem and havoc.
The only place you can see this stuff is X.
It's the only place that'll allow it because the mainstream media is not going to show it to you.
No, X is the only place where you can see independent journalists that are on the ground and showing you what this looks like on a nightly basis, and it is a clown show.
And at what point does it become? Let's go from Caitlin Collins' perspective. At what point does it become a crisis for them? Is it, well, it's just a one block that this is happening. No, it's just 2 blocks. It's the rest of the city's just fine. It's perfect. Which blocks is it okay that an anti-American Marxist organization takes over? How many blocks does that before it gets your attention? Because 1 block gets my attention.
Well, I'd ask the question as well. How many more ICE facilities have to be shot at for you to say, hey,
great question.
Maybe these people are problematic?
Or maybe they're trying to kill someone.
Maybe they're trying to create a giant insurrection. Maybe they're actually trying to tear down society. Do we not get to ask that question? Do we have to go with local officials that have egg on their face who don't want to admit to the problem?
But Caitlin Collins got just as much egg on her face because she's refusing to acknowledge it.
Won't ask the question and definitely won't show any of the video.
No, because she knows. She knows. Now she's gotten her marching orders from CNN. This is the way we're going to handle this. I have no doubt that they sit in a room like, all right, how do we shape this narrative? How do we shape this conversation to match whatever we want to say and whatever our viewers, what's left, want to hear? Yeah, but seriously, you know that's what they're doing? They're like, how do we present this to the few people that are left so they don't turn away? We want to make sure that we're the megaphone for them. We're the echo chamber for them. How many blocks of downtown Portland do you have to give up to anti-American rioters before it's an emergency? I tend to think any block that has that problem in a city. If it were in downtown Atlanta, I'd say the same exact thing. When we continue on Extra, the lovable left is about to explode with more radical violence, and it's connected to Charlie Kirk. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, October 7th from the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Dodgers are now up 2 games to none, heading back home to L.A. after beating the Phillies last night 4-3. The final, the Milwaukee Brewers, they're also up 2 games to none as they will head to Chicago as the Cubs lost last night 7-3. You do get a pair of Game 3s tonight. The Tigers, they host the Mariners. That series is currently tied at 1. First pitch this afternoon is set for 4:08, and the Yankees are back at home, down 2 games to none to the Toronto Blue Jays. That game tonight starts at 8:08. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check them out online at atlturfco.com.
When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need. including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPCTC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Braves Country Convos is the newest official podcast of the Atlanta Braves. Join hosts Jory Palmer and Lauren Saad for some fun, lighthearted, and unexpected discussions as they interview guests with strong Braves country ties about the things that connect us all. Guests range from Braves alumni Charlie Culberson, MLB Network's Lauren Shahadi, and more. Visit Braves.com/podcast to begin listening to Season 1 wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Take a pause.
Valley fever, a fungal infection that's moving across dry sections of the U.S., like the Southwest, the Rockies, and the Midwest.
It's spread by inhaling this fungus that's in the soil, and then it starts to grow inside your body or your dog's body. And if your immune system's not very good at dealing with it, it can spread to other locations, the bones or even the brain.
Professor of Small Animal Internal Medicine Jane Sykes studies infectious diseases at the University of California, Davis. She says valley fever is often mistaken for something else.
Animals, as well as people with chronic cough, might have valley fever, but they could be misdiagnosed with other problems like bronchitis.
There are antifungal treatments, but that can take months. However, Professor Sykes says,
the good news is that there is a vaccine under development. It would be the very first vaccine that we ever have for a fungal disease.
Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Tug and Los until 10. Getting to the last bit of this 8 o'clock hour. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. And share the Extra app with somebody that will enjoy it as much as you do.
Like an ice cream, but don't eat it.
No, yeah, you want
to share it.
Share it with them.
So, like, check this thing out. It speaks truth.
And is delicious. Both at the same time.
And then tell them, too, and it's also dangerous.
That's right. The left will tell you.
There's so much truth, it's dangerous.
That's right. The left is horrified of the truth. They're horrified of you knowing. Well, we played that Margaret
So's
Thatcher.
your Aunt Peg.
Yeah, no kidding.
No.
I had to mute her on social media. It got so crazy. It got so nuts. They had to mute her on social media. But going back to the Margaret Thatcher cut that we played, if you give people the truth, they will choose the right. They will make the right choice. She said, socialists don't want you to have a choice because you won't choose socialism, which is so well put, just quick and to the point, and makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's awkward that given the choice between freedom and non-freedom, most people choose freedom.
Reckon why?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole game of socialism, communism, statism is that it appears to be a form of freedom.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well,
it never is. You think, I'll be free to do this other stuff. Everything else is paid for.
That's right.
No, you're an indentured servant to the state.
Man, watching Mamdani yesterday I saw the videos of him out in New York talking about it's going to be free health care, free bus fares, free babysitting. And he talked about the billions that it was going to cost for the amount of people that are in New York City. Yet he never said how they're going to pay for it.
No.
When
never.
asked, it was like, the corporation's going to have to pay their fair share, and the rich people are going to have to pay their fair share, and that's going to take care of it all.
Being that they have some of the highest tax rates in the country, especially if you operate in New York City.
Goodness.
Yet, well, they have to pay their fair share. You will never find a leftist be able to tell you what your fair share is. Because it's always more.
Whatever the answer is, it's always more than what you're paying right now. It doesn't matter if they just went up on you.
Has he talked about releasing prisoners? I mean, that's usually one of the talking points that they have. Has he talked about releasing people from jail and everything?
They've talked about, and it's not so much no cash bail, because that is not a popular talking point, but it is about, and this is the way they will often put it, they want to deprivatize the prison system.
No, I'm talking about people who are already there, like nonviolent criminal.
Deprivatize.
Yeah, okay, so there's your babysitters.
That's the code.
That's how we're going to pay for it. There's your babysitter.
You make it sound, because part of it, we do have a prison system that is profitable. It's a private institute in a lot of cases. Now, it has people that are certified to work in there, doctors and physicians, and obviously personnel that have the authorization and the training to be able to work in those facilities. But that is what the left does. They talk about, well, we need to go after the private prison complex system, which means we need to release people.
Yeah, we're going to tear it apart. We're going to take it apart, and everybody's going to be on the streets. We see how well that works in places across the country.
See, Jure, I can't say we're going to let people out. I have to say, we're going to deal with this private prison system.
And we're going to give them opportunities.
Dude, it's always plushy.
Yes.
It always sounds great.
Always sounds
free.
Flowery and wonderful. And man, that sounds like a little utopia.
Ooh, I can't wait to live there.
It's going to be great.
Until it's not. And then we went back to it this morning.
They won't even have guns.
You can vote your way in. You're going to shoot your way out.
That's how it works.
It is the truth. There's no truer statement that's ever been made. And I don't know who said it first. I was looking last night trying to find out where that is accredited to. I couldn't find it. But it's been said and repeated many, many times over years and years and years.
Well, these people are about to get even more violent. Because we talked about it yesterday, and I think this is going to be important to watch. Just because you have a government shutdown doesn't mean that the Supreme Court isn't getting together. And
they opened yesterday.
And we are now getting back into session here. And you're always curious, because remember, the Supreme Court goes in, and you have an idea as to the roster of what they're going to be looking at, the cases. And it looks like this docket will have the birthright citizenship debate.
It is. That's correct.
And that occurred on day 1, day 2 of the Trump presidency, which immediately got a challenge in federal court and was headed like a bullet train over to the Supreme Court. If that goes the way that I believe it could possibly go, because there is a legal precedent.
That's right.
For it to go away, that the framers, the people that wrote it, were looking to make sure that you couldn't have tourism babies, anchor babies, as they put it.
What we have.
You could not have a foreign dignitary in this country. His wife gives birth and that child is now a citizen of the United States. That was never the intention. The original writers of the law, that's what they wrote about. You can find it in the Library of Congress. If it goes down and then you see a census, which I believe would follow right behind it, and I would call it the Charlie Kirk census.
Yeah.
The Charlie Kirk honorary census.
That's right.
These people will go full-on violent. When I tell you it's going to be dangerous to be a census worker in these communities, if they're willing to do to ICE what they're willing to do, what do you think about somebody who's just going door to door to get information?
That's not armed, that has no protection, that is just there saying, hey, how many people asking you the basic questions? They're going to unload on these people.
And birthright citizenship suddenly, my kid was born here. Yeah, but you're here legally.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
And it shouldn't.
It's going to cause, again, that level of violence. To think about how you can remove the Democrats' party in a massive way, all in the span of the next few months. If you think this is violent now, just wait. This is going to be Like, there's going to be a call to arms for them. This is going to put us on the precipice of civil war with some of these people.
As Brandon, I keep calling Brandon
Adams. I can't believe you keep associating Brandon Johnson to Brandon Adams.
I have no idea why.
He's alluding to civil war.
That's exactly right. He is the one talking about it because he knows he's preparing his side to be violent. He's preparing it. He wants you to know this is what we expect and this is what we want you to do as soon as this rolls around.
And I get it. It's not easy to just up and leave Chicago, but you should if you can.
People are doing it from California.
Find another place to go.
People do it for New York. I was reading the, I think I shared this before, the number one state people are moving to North Carolina from, none of them touch the state of North Carolina. It's all folks from New York that are leaving. They're going to North Carolina. Imagine that. More people going to North Carolina from New York than any state that actually touches North Carolina.
That's interesting.
That's how many people are trying to get out of there. And California, you had it in the last segment.
So
Never
until 2020 had they lost population since becoming a state. And since 2020 and every subsequent year since then, they've continued to lose population. Now what happens when they lose the status of their illegals? Ooh.
They are going to lose their minds. You think they're violent now?
Just wait. This has got the potential to be a powder keg.
Not only the people going to the door to reconduct the census, but then just in cities, Atlanta won't be immune.
I mean, remember, if you go back to 1860, the reason why the Southern Democrats revolted in the way they did is because, well, you're coming to come take our property. What do you think they're thinking now that we're trying to get the illegals out? You're coming to take our property.
They belong to us. They're our voters. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Just be prepared. Just know what's coming your way. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. The mayor of a big blue city wants an actual insurrection next.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, let's wander into the darkness that is the Democrat Party and see just how deranged Democrats can be. Terry Meza, Democrat, state representative, Irving, Texas, near Dallas. She doesn't like the castle doctrine where you can protect your home against an intruder. This brilliant Democrat says that thieves only carry weapons to protect themselves and to provide the householder an incentive to cooperate. They just want to get their stuff and get away. People only get hurt when the resident tries to resist. So Terry Meza introduced a bill that would require homeowners to flee the home at the first sign of an intrusion. And if they cannot flee their house, they must cooperate with the intruder. And if violence does break out, it is the homeowner's responsibility to make sure that nobody gets hurt. And that means you use the minimum non-lethal force against the intruders. And what if you don't? What if you hurt one of them? Oh my God. The intruders under her bill would be allowed to sue the homeowner for any injuries they receive at the hands of the homeowner. But wait, it gets worse. Remember, we're describing a Democrat. Terry Meza says that in most instances, the thief needs the money more than the homeowner does. And, now please be sitting down, the transfer of that property is likely to lead to a more equitable distribution of the wealth. After all, the intruder needed that money. She says, if I can help make the transfer of this wealth from the homeowner to the thief a peaceful one, well then, so much the better. Democrats gotta love them and pity them because they're sick. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Atlanta legends are only on Extra 106.3 with the one and only Kimmer on your ride home every afternoon.
You got MSNBC's Chris Hayes, among others. You got AOC.
Coming up.
Both posted and talked about when Tucker Carlson was fired by a private company, Fox, under the Biden administration. That was A-OK because you can't get away with saying bad things. You can't get away with
He was punished for saying bad things, that damn Tucker
Jimmy
Carlson.
Kimmel does the exact same thing for years. He finally gets fired by a private company, which is totally in their rights, has nothing to do with free speech. And the same Chris Hayes, the same AOC, screaming for the rooftops is an attack on free speech.
I know.
It's the Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
He got his hand caught in the cookie jar. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just wrote that on Truth Social about the special counsel who got him indicted twice, Jack Smith, calling him deranged and a sleazebag, reacting to what the FBI is now saying Smith did, investigating the January 2021 Capitol riot, tracking Republican senators' phone calls.
It should shock, it should outrage every American.
Senator Ron Johnson was among those tracked, along with conservative organizations. He just told Fox Business.
It's not the Republicans that are a threat to our democracy. It's President Obama, it's President Biden, it's the radical leftists that have served and support them.
Attorney General Pam Bondi may be asked about all that at a Senate hearing set to start in a few minutes, and she may also talk more about the push to send National Guard troops to more cities to fight crime and protests over immigration raids. Though a judge has blocked that for Portland, Oregon. President Trump says he could escalate it all.
We have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up.
Adding to the drama in Chicago, Fox's Mike Tobin reports.
A bounty was put on the head of the commander of the Border Patrol out here, Chief Gregory Bovino. Federal prosecutors released yesterday that they had arrested one suspect. They described him as a ranking member of the Latin King street gang. His name is Juan Espinoza Martinez, alleging that he solicited the murder of Bovino.
Today marks 2 years since the October 7th Hamas terror attack in Israel that triggered the war in Gaza.
1,200 people killed, just under 1,200. Among them, at least 35 U.S. citizens killed, 255 people taken hostage. Many of those hostages, up to 48, still being held. It's estimated that 20 of those are still alive.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. Indirect talks between Israel and Hamas continue in Egypt on a ceasefire plan that would free all those last hostages. It's day 7 of the government shutdown. Some air traffic controllers working without pay have called out sick, leading to flight delays. America's listening to Fox News.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes like Andy need your support. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Dr. Halbert here. Are you tired of standing in front of the paint aisle wondering which product really works? That's exactly why I invented Blue Stop. It took me 10 years to perfect Blue Stop's unique and effective formula. As a surgeon, I saw how stiff joints, sore muscles, and body aches kept too many people from enjoying life. Blue Stop works fast, absorbs quick, and smells great. No prescription, no waiting. It's on the shelf right now at Walmart. Feel the difference.
Tired of all the negative media manipulation? Wake up feeling right with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Thank you for being here with us on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Tug and Los until 10. We got another hour of the show to go, so plenty to talk about. If there's anything that you would like to discuss with us as we talk about it, or anything you'd like to introduce, 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms, always available there to you. So there's a mayor. This guy, he's not well liked. There's no record of success, lots of records of failure. But I mean, you find that with any big blue city for sure. But this fella, this guy wants an insurrection. He's physically calling for it.
How does Chicago continue to fail downward? Because I thought when we had Lori Lightfoot, it was pretty brutal because that was a COVID era.
She looked like Beetlejuice.
That's true. She insisted on, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
And so everyone thought, well, she's being voted out. And Chicago was like, we've had it with Lori Lightfoot.
Gone.
We're going to bring in Brandon Johnson.
Somebody worse.
And Brandon Johnson, I think here's the important part to remember. When you were born of the BLM era, all right, that's your hammer. And everything's a nail. Everything is fight. Everything is racism. Everything is whitey bad. I mean, that's what it comes right down to. No, that's what it comes down to.
That's right.
When everything is, when that's your only hammer, everything's a nail, right? There is, and that's the reason why Brandon Johnson has a 6% approval rating in the city of Chicago. So Brandon Johnson yesterday decided, in light of right now, you have so far DHS and you have ICE that are operating in Chicago. And Brandon Johnson astutely pointed out, and I'll give him credit, well, the reason why they're going to try and roll in the National Guard is because of, I don't know, your people attacking them?
Yeah, which is, I mean, when you're choosing things to do to break the law, when you attack a federal agent, that's like top of the hill kind of stuff. That's top of the mountain. Like, you're probably celebrated like nobody's business in socialist circles.
Like we don't have it in the show today. Stephen Miller went on CNN, and when he was challenged to, well, why aren't you rolling a National Guard over into Texas, over into Dallas? It's like, because their police are supporting us.
Right. Yeah.
In these communities where the police are not supporting, we need additional support. We need additional security. That's why that's happening. Take a listen to Brandon Johnson. Every time you attack DHS or you attack ICE, that is its own form legally of insurrection. That is if you go after their facilities, if you try and shoot at them. These are government officials. You're attacking an arm of the government. You're attacking an arm of, when it comes right down to it, the civil society. This is what he's calling for.
And today we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
We're going to kick them out. We're going to not allow them to do their job.
We are, and this is the other part about this, and I thought this was really well put by Megyn Kelly. When the state of Texas wanted to put razor wire on the border, the Biden administration fought them tooth and nail, telling them and making the argument in court, which was legally, the argument was solid. We're in charge of that. We're in charge of border security. Texas's argument to the Supreme Court and everyone else was, well, why aren't you doing it?
You ain't doing it.
But legally, that's a federal government responsibility.
Yeah.
So when you then have the mayor of Chicago insisting that you can't do your job in this area, well, we got it. Well, that's not your responsibility. You can't have it both ways. What you argued with in Texas is your direct opposite argument in Chicago or your direct opposite argument in Portland.
But that's using logic, Los. And they don't use logic. They use emotion. They want you wrapped up in a conversation and to be able to do it and have it both ways.
The Trump administration, and they all know, will win in the court. They're going to win in the courts.
Just like they did in Texas.
It's going to happen. It's a matter of how much political damage does the left want to do to themselves over this? How much is Brandon Johnson's at 6%? He don't even care. Like at this point, it's like, look, I'm rallying for BLM.
Seriously,
good be. You're the last guy on BLM Island.
He is. It must be lonely.
They stole all your money, did BLM, and you're like, oh, turns out they really were a Marxist organization.
I'll be that website that had it right at the top. They weren't lying.
They weren't kidding around about it. They actually took your money and bought a whole bunch of houses.
I was impressed by Chief Superintendent Larry Snelling of the Chicago Police. Because Brandon Adams saying we're not going to let them do this, that, or the other thing. He says we don't have the right to arrest or interfere with federal agents. CPD will not arrest and cannot arrest federal agents. He said we don't have to agree with it, but it doesn't matter. We don't have the authority, as the Chicago Police Department to interfere or arrest federal agents, because that seems to be the mechanism that people want to see the Chicago police do. Remember, they didn't come out to support the federal agents when they were under attack. They had a stand-down order. Do not assist, which seems unreal. Going back to Stephen Miller's point, the reason we need agents there, the reason we need more agents and maybe need National Guardsmen at some point is because they are not assisting. They're not helping.
Yes, if you're not going to aid in their security for doing the laws of the land, that's what they're not doing anything that is illegal.
And if you don't like the laws of the land, change the laws of the land.
Then go win an election.
That's right. Go win an election, do that. But you haven't.
No. As much as you want to ram their vehicles or shoot at them or do whatever you're going to do, they are performing the laws of the land. That's all they're doing. And you've decided, based on your crazy rhetoric, that somehow, because you can't win elections and you can't get any legislation passed that's going to change this, so instead, when you're out of power, what do? You shoot. You get violent.
But how brave is this police chief, Larry Snelling? How brave is he? Maybe it's because Brandon Johnson has a 6% rating. He feels like he can go against his boss a little bit.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because he knows what his police force is all about. He knows who works for him. He knows they want to do the job of defending human life, and especially trying to clean up the city of Chicago that needs it so bad. You talked about the Arc. Nobody messes with it. Down near the ball fields, down near the museums, it's all safe there. Once you get out of there, things go south real quick.
The only time they get upset, whenever you see it on the news, is when you get inside that Arc, where it's, hey, listen, you keep your violence going, but you keep it south of the city. You keep it out of the city. The problem is that now what's happening in Chicago is it has started filtering. Like, we had a story while we were there of a man being shot in front of the NBC building.
Oh, wow.
And, again, this was probably a good 10 years ago.
Okay.
And that was the initial start of, wait a minute, you're not supposed to have that happen there. Like, that happened south. That's where the animals live. That's the way they treat it there. We let them bang it out all the time. That's fine. They go shoot each other up. Yeah. But don't bring it in here.
Y'all shoot each other, don't shoot us.
Yeah.
It's
a crazy mentality.
It certainly is. And I think that police chief knows. He knows that people are so fed up with it. Because I've seen videos of people talking about Chicago, and they're like, we want the National Guard here. We need the National Guard here. And it's always, in the video that I watched last night, it's always these rich white libs who are like, no, we don't want it. We want them out of our city. They're racist. And then the people that live in some of the rough neighborhoods are like, absolutely, we want them here. People are dying on a nightly basis. I mean, that's been the story of the city of Chicago for years. Every weekend, it's 8, 10, 12, 15 people shot, 4 or 5 people dying because of it.
Every weekend.
Every weekend. That police chief knows that. That's why he's saying, no, we're not going to interfere. We're not going to arrest an ICE agent, which sounds absurd to begin with, even on the surface. I'm no expert in the law. I know that ain't right.
I believe the number was in the 700s is what they had in 2020, 2021 when it came to murders in Chicago. And so Brandon Johnson is claiming, look at this historic move towards having less crime. They're on track for 500. All right, even in a place like Chicago, 500 is an improvement over 800. But 500 anywhere is way too many people for even a major metropolitan area.
It's unbelievable numbers, man. And nobody should be okay with it at all. Tug and Los until 10. I read the story in the Washington Examiner, and it really went along with something that Los and I had been saying forever. You can tell who's winning the argument by the posture that they take on the subjects that they're talking about. You'll notice who are relaxed and laughing and the ones who are winning. And if you remember when Kamala Harris first started as the nominee way back when, seems like forever ago.
Wait, was this Brat Summer?
Yes, and it was all about chuckles and laughs, and they couldn't win. Then
it's a joy. It's all joy.
Absolutely. It's the Vibe campaign. Wasn't that what it was? The Vibe, didn't they call that? The Vibe campaign, some silly nonsense. And then the first polls came out, and she took this huge nosedive and was nowhere to be found. All of a sudden, they stopped laughing. And you can laugh. You've seen the administration laugh. Silly memes, getting after people and making fun of them because they're so absurd in the things that they say and do. And the beauty is that we're winning because we're in that posture. You see us laughing. You see us being able to look at what's happening in a positive way and laugh about it when there needs to be laughter. Are there times that you have to take things serious? Absolutely. But who would have thought it would be a sombrero that proved that point? That our posture is where it needs to be.
You're mocking your opponent. Tried and true, it always works. It makes them much easier to deal with. It's the reason why no matter when we've been at war, we always have a nickname and something we call no matter who we're fighting against. Doesn't matter where in the world, there's always going to be a nickname, and that's what we do.
And Trump uses it very effectively. Crooked Hillary.
Right.
Sleepy Joe.
Donald Trump gives you a moniker, and that's what it's going to be. But to see the rest of everyone else on the new right that is indulging in this, hey, we're a lot more funny than they are. Let's have some fun with this. And it's creating these viral moments. Even when you have somebody like J.D. Vance that, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, tried to make fun of him.
Oh, yeah, with the fat kid thing.
And he started to retweet all of it because he thought it was hilarious. Like, you're impervious to this stuff at that point.
Same way with Charlie Kirk. When he took his character from South Park and made
it
his profile picture. And the left lost their mind. Remember,
they're like, you don't understand, we're making fun of you. And he's like, don't care.
That's right. That's when you know you've got this thing wrapped up. That you're in a position of power and authority within the United States and within politics, that you can sit back and laugh at things that are funny. And for the last, seeming like 20 years, maybe longer, political correctness had ruined everything. It almost ruined comedy. And say what you will about Netflix, I'm not a fan of what they're doing, but they were the only ones that would allow comedians to say the things that are unmentionable.
Abrasive. They stood by Dave Chappelle with all the stuff he was doing in the trans world.
Others too.
Yeah. So, yes, I don't want to have zero interest in them grooming my kids. They have been an advocate for free speech, although they've also been an advocate for getting behind the free speech of the Obamas, which is a little bit of a mess.
That's weird.
But the whole idea of if you can laugh, you can talk. We're the ones laughing. And they're the ones that are not.
And the crazy thing is Van Jones has noticed it too.
Yeah, if you can laugh, you can talk. If you laugh, you can have a discussion.
And he brought it up on Bill Maher's show this weekend when he was on there, and he talked about how Charlie Kirk was an advocate of laughing and having a spirited discussion, but doing it in a way that is not disrespectful. Let's agree admirably. Is that wasn't the word? He just said basically, let's agree or disagree and do it in a gentlemanly fashion. That way we don't turn to violence. That way we don't turn into gunfire. And Van Jones said, look, I don't agree with him at all, but I appreciate the fact that he was reaching out to me to have that discussion. That would be a discussion between two people that vehemently disagree, but we don't come to fisticuffs or we don't come to something worse.
So it's now been about 20-some years. One of my favorite miniseries of all time was from HBO. It was called From the Earth to the Moon. And
remember that, or maybe it's because you've told me about it.
It was done, mainly produced by Tom Hanks. And it chronicled the space race and what we were doing during the 1960s to eventually get to the moon. And everything ended with, and here's the moon, and here's what we were able to do. And so I spent the better part of 20-some years talking about how that was obviously one of the greatest accomplishments in human history. Then I went through the COVID period. And I thought it was really funny when Joe Rogan, now here's where I say you laugh. If you can laugh, if you can joke, you can have a conversation. When Joe Rogan talked about how, and then I went through COVID, and now I believe in every conspiracy theory. He's like, I don't think we went to the moon.
That's right.
And you laugh about it, and it's funny. But now it has a discussion of, I think we went. I think we staged the pictures. I don't know if we actually got there and put feet on that thing. It's like, did we get there with some probes and stuff? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of looks that way. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
hopefully.
Again, if you can laugh, now we can have a discussion. And that's the whole idea of these memes and these jokes is, yes, we're mocking you, but if you can't laugh about it, then we're not really going to have a debate. What is there to debate with these people? We're not the same anymore.
And they don't want to be like us. They want the exact opposite of what we want.
They have zero interest in having a debate with me.
That's right.
What they would rather do
is kill you.
Is kill me.
Shut them up. Tucker Carlson caught some heat for saying what he did at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. How do we get this guy to stop telling the truth about us?
How do we get Charlie Kirk in the same way that he was comparing, what did they do to Jesus when they were like, it's too much truth? Well, why don't we kill him?
That'll shut him up.
That'll take care of it.
Dude, I'm telling you. And he did it laughing. A heavy conversation and a serious thing to discuss. And he did it with humor.
But when you threaten the status quo through comedy, through direct debate, through whatever it is, know that those in power, their only response is, well, we got to silence you. And sometimes they can do it just through ruining your career. Sometimes they can do it through making sure that this political situation ends your political career. But when you have grown beyond those means, we've already seen it through the 1960s. We're seeing it again. We are in the era of political assassinations. These will keep happening with the more power the left loses.
Go back to September 10th when Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut said, whatever is necessary, by any means necessary. You fix the problem by any means necessary. And he did not laugh about it.
Nope.
Because there was nothing to laugh about.
It's a dog whistle for them.
Of course it is. 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Even Europe has had it. They want their own Donald Trump. Next on the Morning Extra.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, the Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Do you and your sweetheart have a list? Do y'all have some things that you've written down? Maybe you made the list in handwriting, just wrote it down, or you maybe put it in your notes in your phone. A list of things that need to be done at your house. Maybe you need new windows. Maybe you need a new roof, new siding, new gutters. Maybe you need that back deck redone or screened in. Southern Exteriors does all that. So now you can pick a couple options from the list, a couple things you want to get done, and you can pick a couple different things when it comes to how you pay for it. 0% interest for 1 year or 10% off any project when you pay in full. That's it. There's no gimmicks, no hidden finance charges, just an honest option that fits your budget and gives you the home upgrade that you've been making your list about. They've helped thousands of people across Metro Atlanta upgrading their exteriors, and in a way that works for your budget. And now it's your turn. Get a roof, get new siding, get gutters, windows, new front door. Give that home the facelift that it needs and make it the envy of the cul-de-sac. When you pull in there, you have that same feeling you did the day you bought it. You are in love with your home, and those upgrades will give you that. Lock in your deal and schedule a free quote at 8779-SOUTHERN, 8779-SOUTHERN, or southernexteriors.co. The website's really, really easy, but you got to get it right at southernexteriors.co.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED,
Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
In case you haven't noticed from the flood of robocalls and junk mail, the Medicare annual enrollment period is here. You have from October 15th until December 7th to get on the right 2026 Medicare plan for you. Even if you're happy with your current plan, it is critical to review the 2026 options. You know, most Medicare plans change every year and many go away entirely. Every year, millions of people end up stuck on plans that leave them overpaying for care or worse, unable to get the care they need. I highly recommend that you call my trusted Medicare partner, Chapter. They are the only advisors that look at every single plan nationwide to make sure you have the best plan for your specific situation. Hundreds of my listeners have already gotten help from Chapter. One couple, Tamara and Dean, they called Chapter after hearing me talk about them, and they're saving almost $3,000 every year now with their new plan. So if you're on Medicare or soon will be, reach out to the good people at Chapter. Call them today, dial pound 250 and say the keyword Chapter for free and honest advice. That's pound 250, keyword Chapter.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Tuesday, October 7th. A Cobb County man who was falsely accused of a kidnapping attempt at the Walmart in Ackworth is planning to sue the city and police department if they can't reach a settlement. Mahendra Patel spent 45 days in jail after a mother accused him of trying to kidnap her son earlier this year. He was released after a judge dropped the charges in August. Patel is seeking $25 million in damages. A professor at Kennesaw State University has been awarded 2 grants to develop new antibacterial treatments aimed at tackling drug-resistant bacteria and staph infections. Dr. Thomas Leepers says the project is critical given the rapid growth of multi-drug-resistant infections, and students will be involved in the lab work. And Marietta City Schools Superintendent Dr. Grant Rivera has donated his $10,000 bonus to cover college application fees for all seniors at Marietta High. The support also applies to students pursuing career certifications or military paths with the goal of eliminating financial barriers to applying. Rivera says no student should hold back from applying due to cost. This is his 7th year he's made this donation to help their futures. Today's weather mostly cloudy with a high of 81. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
9 o'clock hours brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Southernexteriors.co. That's how you get a hold of them. So easy. CO. That's how you get it done. So simple, so easy, and they give you a great deal that fits your budget for windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, all of that. When it comes to Europe, we're seeing leftism fail. We're also seeing it in the United States, but we are here to be a part of it and hopefully push the country back toward a more reasonable place, getting rid of the Democrats, not letting them have power and authority. Now they're becoming violent because of it. But that's something in our backyard we're going to have to deal with. Europe is seeing it up close too, what leftist politics and policy has done, opening the borders, much like we experienced. They've done it all over the entire continent. And leftism is on the run everywhere across Europe. The French government is going to have to elect a new prime minister because it has collapsed. You're seeing Keir Starmer, the prime minister there in the UK, as a guy that's got 13% approval, and he is an avowed leftist. The people in Europe are ready, Lowe's, for their own Donald Trump. Because, I mean, you see them in England where they're putting out the English flags, and some people are being arrested for doing so.
I just don't know if they have the marbles to do what we're doing.
I don't know either. But there are people that are talking about it. And I want you to hear from this dude that went over there, and he is a guy that's like, we need our own Donald Trump. Listen to this.
After this ride on the London Tube, I got a whole new perspective. One of the things as Americans, listen, obviously America, we're more polarized than we've been in years. Republicans hate Democrats, Democrats hate Republicans, everybody hates everybody. Everybody's on the extremes. Meanwhile, most of the people are, 80% of the people are in the middle and can't find a candidate they like. Say what you want about Trump. You all know I voted for Biden and voted for Harris. I gotta be honest with you, I'm making the swing fast. There's a lot of things going on in the world, a lot of things that I'm seeing in Europe, a lot of things that I'm seeing in London. Strike up a nice conversation with a good guy in London. He's talking. He's like, listen, there's a lot of the British people, a lot of people in London, for all his shortcomings, they want Trump here because the crime is out of control, immigration is out of control. Say what you want. My Democratic friends, liberals, people on the left, listen, man, we're either going to have laws or we're not. Break the law, go to jail. You want to play by the rules, you want to play by the laws, you should be good. If you don't, there should be consequences. And in London right now, every single person has told me, don't walk with your phone out. Don't wear a watch in Mayfair. Don't do it. Even right now, I'm about to turn a corner on the street. I got to worry about holding my phone because some moron might come by on an e-bike, try and grab it. Obviously, I'll run his ass down. You know this. But what's going on across the world is a real problem. The crime rates in these places are unnecessary. They're making our favorite big cities unsafe. It's pushing out good quality people. It's attracting bad quality people. And it is not a good quality of life for anybody. Low income, high income, black, white, purple, tall, fat, skinny, you know me, I don't care. Everybody should have a good quality of life. Everybody should be entitled to their safety. I also think everybody should have good education and healthcare. It's a separate conversation. But what's going on here, I just thought it was super interesting to have a conversation with a nice, level-headed, normal guy on the tube, or as we call it, the subway.
And this is a man who sounds like a MAGA voter.
I thought he was going to read an encyclopedia.
Yeah. When he started talking about how I voted for Kamala Harris, I voted for Joe Biden, but his response sounded more like a you and me response than his own or someone in his party. And he's seeing it across Europe. He's seeing it across London.
Well, Britain's lost.
It seems that way.
I mean, it's lost. If you're more concerned about thought police and policing individual thought or what you might happen to post online, then freedom is gone at that point. Free speech is out the door. And when you bring that up with them to see the people in power that are like, they're on to us. I don't think they have the marbles to actually say what their problem is, which is general lawlessness and not enforcing when it comes to their border security.
But think about
how do you ship out that many people?
Pakistani rape gangs.
Yeah.
Those things are happening, and the government has covered it up. The media's not reported on it. No different than they do here in the United States. We don't have that problem, I don't think. But we have all kinds of sex trafficking problems.
The issue that we run into across Europe is they have long looked at themselves as the enlightened ones versus those cowboys out in the West. Yeah, the Americans, they do what they're going to do, and they're violent, and they shoot each other, and oh, look, they like to fight a lot.
We've taken guns away. We don't have to worry about that.
We don't have to worry about that.
We'll stab each other all the time.
We're the enlightened ones.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens when enlightenment has failed and you're losing your society, which is happening? It's basically you're going to be bred out of your own society is what's going on. So are you willing to put your foot down and put away all the niceness and do what we're doing? What we're doing right now is reestablishing American identity and American citizenship as being valuable. And basically saying if you thought you could just come here and get all the goods that you believe America has entitled you to, that's not the case. I don't know that Europe has turned in that way yet. Until they do, it's not going to really change. They can go after their own leadership. Who's going to be brutal enough? Because let's face it, you have to be in order to reestablish yourself as, like, for instance, and I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but Ireland made it a point that Conor McGregor, who was leading in their polls, can't run. He couldn't get enough support within their Congress because the powerful people would not allow him to be on the ballot.
I think it's called the AfD in Germany. And, of course, the German media labels them as far right.
Extremist.
They're just populists. They sound like Donald Trump. They say the things that Donald Trump says. And they're doing the same thing in Germany, not giving them the opportunity to be a part of it. They're effectively pushing them out.
Pushing them aside.
And in London and in the UK and Britain altogether, it's the same things. They're not allowing anybody into the government. Even in France, where they're on their third or fourth prime minister in as many years, they can't run the government, but they're doing everything they can to keep the Conservative Party, the Populist Party, from having any ability to. So it is going to take, like you're saying, incredible courage and somebody with the stones to fight for it.
This is the little miracle that we had in this country over the last year and a half. Because they did the exact same things here, did the globalists, the statists, the communists. Remember, Donald Trump was removed from ballots.
Colorado, Maine, and probably several more. As just the first two that I think.
Removed from ballots and was called an insurrectionist, which, by the way, he was never charged with insurrection at any point ever. Yet then you tried to put him in jail for over 100 years based on the cases that he had. And yet, because of our little miracle of a system that we have that the Democrats can't stand, we were able to elect, with a popular vote, the guy that we felt was going to clean this mess up. You don't have those same levers of power that work the same way in Europe.
That's right.
They just don't.
No. It's going to take somebody with stones. It's going to take somebody that is not afraid to actually fight, because it may be a fight on their hands.
And you're almost going to have to do reverse Barack Obama. You're going to have to come across as a centrist and then govern hard from the right.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to have to play it, because there's no one right now who is largely on the right outside of Italy where you can basically get elected in some of these countries and then be able to govern from the right.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Conor McGregor was leading the votes. He was leading in their polls, and they would not allow him. Now, granted, I know it's a bit of idiocracy that a former MMA champion would possibly ever lead your country.
Dude, we got
But Manny Pacquiao's done okay with what he's done representing his country.
We have a reality show, man.
I know.
So does Ukraine. Yeah, so does Ukraine. And actually, they're probably more in line with the others.
Well, that's what I mean. It's on both sides.
But Conor McGregor has been talking Ireland for the Irish. He's been saying the same things that has been working across our country and across Europe as far as garnering attention and getting people to say we need to fix this. The problem is the powers that be across Europe will not allow these people to even get on a ballot. And again, we can always say, well, that's because they're backwards thinking on this. We tried it here too. Well, not me, but they.
Yeah.
The Democrats actually tried everything they could to keep Donald Trump off a ballot. Everything.
It just so happened they failed.
To the point where the bullet missed by a millimeter.
Oh my gosh, if he hadn't turned his head.
Like, that's how far we went. All they did was tell Conor McGregor, you're not going to get the votes. We're not allowing you on the ballot.
Man, I don't know what it takes over there. Because, I don't pretend to know European government and politics. I just know that those people are hungry, no different than the Americans. The people that voted Donald Trump in a sweep, in a popular vote, in an electoral college, every swing state, they have that same hunger for freedom. Japan has that same hunger for freedom. And Japan's a pretty closed society, and they still weren't happy with the way that the country was trending. So they've elected a woman on the right to run this country. And it's going to be amazing to watch that happen. And I hope it's encouraging to people across Europe. I hope at some point they figure out a way in the bounds that they have to be able to save their entire continent, because it needs saving.
You're going to have to get used to what we have gotten used to. Let the Yanks be the example to you. When I tell Tug's racist, and Tug's like, all right. Well, you're a homophobe. All right.
Transphobe.
You're transphobe.
That's the most popular one right now.
You're a misogynist. You just have to not care, because what is going on right now is when you start saying whatever your country is, this country is for us. And the people that are here illegally, or the people that have chosen to come here and have not assimilated, you have to go. And it's much different in Europe, where you're not talking about the same sort of size that we've got here. There's some countries where round them up, get them out.
And that's what they talked about in Germany. The AFDs talked about that exact same thing in Germany.
Round them up, send them out. Now, it might take you being called all the worst names in the world.
It will. It will. It's not might. It will.
But when you do so, just know your country gets better with every busload, train load that gets out of there. Every single one.
Especially those that have come to be a disruptor. They've sent so many people. And look, the Chinese Communist Party is devious and as awful as they are. They're not fools. There's so many people that came across that border. Remember that whole thing in New York City right before Trump spoke at the UN? They found that like communications apartment that was set up that was going to be able to crash the communication systems. Dude, they're doing that. That's not the only one of those that exists. You must realize all of those people that came across that border, they are here with intent. Whether it's some of them, make a better life. Others, let's destroy the United States from within.
The Chinese are a big facilitator of, we want this migration going on throughout all of Europe. Because
it's good for us.
Yes, because once NATO falls apart, now we're truly on our own. This is the last place for freedom at that point.
Exactly right. And look, I'm not so sure it's not already. Because in Europe, it doesn't look like a very free place when somebody can come arrest you at your home for posting a meme. That doesn't sound like freedom to me. That doesn't look like freedom to me. And if you were to ask Bill Maher, a classic liberal, a guy that I agree with only about half the time, he'd tell you the same thing. That's not freedom of speech at all. It does not exist in Europe at this point. When we continue on Xtra 106.3, there is a cat in Nashville that just does not fit in. Next on the Morning Xtra.
The Morning Xtra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3 FM.
Come on, Tug. Hey, it's Los. Well, we're going to go to Howard Brothers.
Okay,
because we're going to pick up some Skag power equipment. Fall has arrived, and with it, big jobs for your business, not Tug's business. Tug doesn't have a big business when it comes to lawn care, but maybe you do. So leaf piles, they're growing. Debris cleanup needs to happen. You'll need equipment that can keep you at work and getting the job done. At Howard Brothers, they've got you covered with a full lineup of Skag street blowers, vacuums, and debris loaders. Some of those powerful tools in the entirety of the industry. With Skag, you'll tackle every job with ease and deliver the premium service that your customers expect. That's why they keep being your customers. Every time you show up, they're like, oh, I got all these problems. You make it go away in part with your Skag. You demand simply the best, and that's exactly what Skag delivers. Stop by your local Howard Brothers today and gear up for the fall work heading your way.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, October 7th from the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Dodgers are now up 2 games to none, heading back home to L.A. after beating the Phillies last night 4-3. The final, the Milwaukee Brewers, they're also up 2 games to none as they will head to Chicago as the Cubs lost last night 7-3. You do get a pair of game 3s tonight. The Tigers, they host the Mariners. That series is currently tied at 1. First pitch this afternoon is set for 4:08, and the Yankees are back at home, down 2 games to none to the Toronto Blue Jays. That game tonight starts at 8:08. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to GetWindowNation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
securing America.
The continuing government shutdown is affecting the bottom line of federal employees, including the military. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt touched on the troops' economic reality during a Monday briefing.
Our incredible military service members who risk their lives to preserve and defend our country are now working without pay and will miss their next paychecks.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth told Fox's The Sunday Briefing that the shutdown will affect performance at some point.
Eventually, you stop paying people, you stop doing things, you stop training, you're less ready, you're less capable of being mission ready, you can't maintain everything.
Hegseth acknowledges a lot of military leaders could do better economically in civilian life, but believe in the mission.
They can make a lot more on the outside, just like the sergeants and the captains and the others who serve. It's not about the money, but at the end of the day, you got to pay the bills.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. 3 people share the Nobel Prize for Medicine this year. 2 of the winners are from the U.S., the other is from Japan. The Nobel Assembly at Karolinska Institute announcing the winners in Stockholm, Sweden, for their work on peripheral immune tolerance. Their research identified regulatory T cells, which are essential for preventing the immune system from attacking the body's own tissues. And that has led to new approaches in treating autoimmune diseases and cancer. The Nobel Assembly pointing out that the discovery may also lead to more successful transplantations, adding that several of these treatments are currently undergoing clinical trials. The trio of scientists will share the prize money of nearly $1.2 million. The prize is named after Swedish industrialist Alfred Nobel, who founded the awards to recognize groundbreaking contributions to humankind. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, and Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Need a break from all the political talk? Tune into Holy Crap It's Sports with Pete Davis every weekday at 5:20 on The Kimmer Show. It's your daily dose of what's hot in the sports world, from the field to the locker room, with Pete's unfiltered opinion and a side of laughs. It's smart, it's funny, it's sports with edge. Holy Crap It's Sports. Catch it at 5:15 only on The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra on Extra 106.3. We're just debating whether Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure holds up. And for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, if it's like an anniversary of the movie, if it's when it came out or whatever. But they have both Bill and Ted on Morning Joe this morning, strangely enough. And we talked about how then it was great. Does it hold up? Neither of us have seen it a long time, so we don't know.
Didn't they remake it or do a sequel a few years ago?
Yes, they did. I guess it'd be a third installment, and it was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah,
7 or 8 years ago,
right.
Like right around there.
Waiting for Godot is on Broadway, and that's the reason they're on there this morning. So that's the connection.
Keanu Reeves has some movie coming out where he's also an angel that's been kicked out of the job.
Oh, wow.
And it actually, again, it's previews, but it's him and Seth Rogen.
Okay.
And Seth Rogen's trying to teach him to be human. It looks funny.
Okay.
With some of the stuff he does.
listening.
Yeah.
I like Keanu Reeves a lot. I think he's terrific. I've always enjoyed his stuff. I even like Speed. As corny as that, looking back.
Speed was a blockbuster during the time.
It was good, yeah.
It was a huge movie.
Yeah. And then made famous again down the hall. With the old pop quiz.
With the pop quiz, hot shot.
Exactly right.
But that movie, and then we were talking about before when society was at its height, when you had the Matrix movies in 99 and 01. And
I saw the first one. I didn't see the additional ones, but I really loved the first one.
It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, it was.
Totally mind-blowing movie.
It's
a documentary.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're living in a simulation, Tug.
I had to watch it a few times to get it. It took me a little while to get it.
I just remember being in the theater because I watched it when it was my freshman year of college, and I remember thinking going into the movie, well, I guess they find some box or something or whatever, and it gives them crazy skills. And then by the time it all kind of hit you, I was like, oh, this is genius movie making.
They get out of the box.
Yeah.
Whoa! In the same way that when I saw Inception, I was blown away about the idea that all of this is going on, stealing within somebody's dream.
Goodness.
Having the idea of the job is corporate espionage using people's dreams. It's like, that's crazy.
The late 90s and the early 2000s had so many of those movies, like Fight Club.
Fight Club
was great.
It's another David Fincher movie. That one's a great one.
Yeah, it is. I always enjoyed it. Oh, Flounder checks in. Producer of The Kimmer Show. He wants us to know that Bill and Ted's does hold up, just like Weekend at Bernie's does.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm Pat. Don't shoot the messenger.
I don't know if I know Weekend at Bernie's doesn't. I gave that a little bit of a run.
No? Oh, yeah,
I mean, it was just on.
Yeah.
I remember they made a sequel to that thing,
yeah,
too.
Weekend at Bernie's, too, I remember.
It did well enough.
Yeah.
I remember I saw it as a kid, and I thought,
Me too.
okay, as a kid, it was funny.
It's fine as a kid. But Howard the Duck was fine as a kid.
Right.
You know? And
Not everything can be Goonies where it stands up.
Yeah. And I didn't see that until I was 35, so I didn't fall in love with it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'd never seen it, and I watched it, and I was just like,
I watched it just a couple of years ago for the first time, and that's kind of just.
But my wife, when she found out I hadn't seen it, she couldn't believe it because she loved Goonies.
It's a good movie that the kids have enough personality and the story is interesting enough and just scary enough that it's got a little something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's Temple of Doom or Raiders of the Lost Ark, but for kids, it's kind of Temple of Doom or Raiders of the Lost Ark. I get to see an Indiana Jones movie with kids.
I can see that a little bit. Then let's move over to the music industry.
Oh, man. I have a question for you, Tug. How? Because you tell me all the time that, hey, listen, Nashville's got a lot of people that are left-leaning. We're like, okay, that's fine. That's the music industry. Sure. That's not a big deal. It's not like the entire industry is going to be one way or another. Totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the performing artists, most of them, when it comes to Nashville, when it comes to country music, if they're left at all, they don't say a word about it.
No, they keep it down because they know that their audience is not.
Right.
By and large.
By and large.
Audience is not.
If you don't remember what the Dixie Chicks did to themselves 20-some years ago, it's like it should be like carved in stone in Nashville of what not to say and what not to do.
But a guy like Zach Bryan has never been a real Nashville country guy. I remember when his career was first exploding, and he would have nothing to do with country radio. And country radio was like, fine, we'll have nothing to do with you. And then there was a bit of a thawing out because his career started to pick up steam. He was a former sailor in the Navy. And
oh, no.
Yeah, he's a former sailor. He started posting his stuff on YouTube when he first started gaining traction.
Well, let the audience know what he did.
So he has a new song, and it bashes ICE. It bashes everything that you and I hold dear, pretty much.
The red, white, and blue is fading.
Yes, that's exactly right. And now, because I knew this, everybody knew this, but he had never stepped out to he had said a few things, you're like, that stands out to me a little bit. He had never done anything so outlandish. Now he has. He's got this new song, and everybody has taken notice. It's not going to hurt him because he's never been a country guy to begin with. He's never been a country radio, Nashville fixture kind of performer anyway. He was more like Bruce Springsteen than he was Jason Aldean.
So this isn't Country Girl Shake It For Me suddenly goes all ISIS.
No, it's not. But don't get me wrong.
I need a simple explanation on this one. So.
I saw this on the show sheet, and I was really interested in this because I brought up Zach Bryan to Tug probably 6 months ago, thinking on paper this is, all right, country guy, huge superstar, former sailor. You would have thought that I farted and walked away. Like, Tug just had this look on his face like nope.
He ain't one of mine.
He ain't one of ours. He ain't one of us.
Like, geez, I don't...
No, but that's the thing. And John Rich really has pointed it out.
John Rich was the one who pointed out yesterday. He's like, there's a lot more of these people in Nashville than you know.
And the industry. So a dear friend of mine is a record rep. He reps Jelly Roll, Lainey Wilson, Jason Aldean. They just picked up Brantley Gilbert, who's from Jefferson, Georgia, who is a patriot through and through. That's their roster at Broken Bow, Nashville. And he says, dude, in our office, everybody that works around me is 25, maybe a little younger or a little older. And every one of them are as hard left as you could possibly be. they don't even they don't like the music that they actually have to promote. They don't like it because they don't agree with it. It's the craziest thing. And he, born in Mississippi, raised in Chattanooga, he gives them hell in the office every day. Like, are you fools listening to what's coming out of your mouth? Do you not realize that everybody on your roster feels exactly opposite the way you do? Have you ever maybe thought about some of these things that you're promoting? Dude, he gives them such a hard time.
That's awesome.
And dude, he'll send me texts of, you won't believe the conversation I just had. And then he'll detail it. And he'll call me later just to get it off his chest. He's like, I work with idiots. Every one of them are idiots. They expect things are going to be free. They expect they're going to get promoted when they don't do their job.
I would just say this. If you understand what the temperature in the room is, like, what is my audience? What am I talking about? What am I advocating for? If I feel like it's completely different than my audience, I'm probably not going to be very loud about it.
Why would you?
Why would you?
Like, why would you spit right in their face?
Why would you hurt your career knowing how dedicated the country music fan is?
The most loyal. Now, again, this is not going to hurt his career because he's more like Bruce Springsteen than he is Jason Aldean. He sold out the Big House up in Michigan.
Okay.
Sold it slap out.
112,000, I think.
That's exactly right. And maybe they called it a country show. I don't know. You call it a country show. They called it the biggest country show that had ever taken place.
Well, I hope the country turns their back on him.
Well, you've already got that happen. Country music dropped him.
I hope he don't ever show up in Nashville.
Yeah, he won't.
If he knows what's good for him.
He doesn't fit in.
You try that in a small town.
That's
Zach.
Right. That's right. We will push you down a hill. Yeah. I'm just telling you, dude.
I'm pliable, tractable country fan.
And he's lost the young men, all the ones that I've told you about, my son and his group. Dude, he's lost them completely. My son was making fun of my wife because up on one of her like Apple playlists or Spotify playlists, a Zach Bryan song came up, and he's like, "Are you serious? Are you listening to that clown?" That's the kind of reaction that they've been given for months and months and months. Zach Bryan.
I still think he's got some good tunes.
He does. So does Bruce Springsteen.
Can I share something? I played Jane's Addiction at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
And Progressive John, not Liberal John anymore, he's identifying as Progressive John now.
Well, I'll be.
He called in to yell at me because he said that they were trans music. And I was like, first of all, I don't think anybody in the band is transition. Second of all, Perry Farrell might have had some, relationships. But it's good music.
Still great music.
It's good music. That's all that matters.
Exactly right. There you go. That'll do it for us. For Los and Jure, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.